Injured? Postman delivers. And by the Advantage Dealer Group, home of the 60-minute guarantee.
Listen to every game all season long right here. This is the ESPN Chicago Hard Rock Casino White Sox Network.
Listen to us now, live on the ESPN Chicago app. Listen to the show in HD at 100.3 HD2 FM. Listen now on ESPN 1000. This is Waddle and Silvy, ESPN Chicago, Chicago's home for sports.
Beautiful day in the city of Chicago. Waddle and Silvy on the air on this Thursday with a lot of Bears conversation and baseball talk, too, with the White Sox white hot. You just heard Jeff Meller talk about that. Colson Montgomery continues to drive in runs. Good for them. They're going to win over 62 games and avoid losing 100, I believe. We'll discuss that coming up. And the Cubs in focus, too, today. And Waddle working from home as he's fighting something, right? What do you got? You find a cold and some back boils? Is that the situation?
Yeah, I got a little bit of both. I was going to say, if only your Cubs were playing as well as the White Sox, you may find yourself in front in the National League Central at this point with the Sox now 9-2, I believe, in their last 11. Yeah, just getting through some summer cold activity. And I did, yes, I had to go see Dr. Pimple Popper today. My doctor had to address something on my back that needed to be lanced. So
it's a twofer. So you went to the doctor for your sickness, and he popped some pimples for you.
Well, not pimples, just like one, and it wasn't even a pimple. That would be underestimating the volcano that was located in my mid-back that needed to be addressed. So it was kind of gross. I'm not going to lie to you, but I feel some great relief.
All right. I'm sure Courtney's very happy to hear that.
Well, you brought it up.
No. It's great. It's Look, we're open book here. That's the way we do things. Courtney Cronin, right now, the hardest working person in really sports. She's on her way to the airport. She's heading to Bristol. Then from there, I believe she may head to Detroit. And she's brought to you, as always, by Costa Ivoni. Injured, call 708-4 million for the people of Chicago, because they are Chicago. Costa Ivoni, your local personal injury lawyers. As Courtney joins us on the Yingling guest hotline. Do I have the travel correct here, Courtney? Is that what you're up to?
You do. That is accurate. I need to have some more information, though, on Waddle's doctor. Is this just like a general internist that you went to for a cold and then he spotted something on your back and he took care of it? Am I reading that right?
No, it's a great question. No, I had him address the issue I was having with kind of a sinus infection in the morning, and then I realized that the thing that the alien that was growing in my back just next to my spine needed to be addressed as well. So I said, you know what, why don't I just come in and see you? And I went in and saw him, and not to make the story too gory, he took care of it, and it was a hot mess. I'm not going to lie, Courtney, it was a hot mess.
Oh gosh, well, feel better soon. That sounds that's a lot.
Yes.
He described it in the pre-show fist fight, Courtney, as it looked like a garbanzo bean.
Out of your back.
Yes. Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's speechless.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to say. I mean, it's just the truth. It's the only path for us, Courtney. So I apologize.
Say no more. Courtney, the injury report. Let's start there because there was one bit of good news with Jalen Johnson, but the Kyler Gordon, Grady Jarrett stuff is concerning. Break it down for us on who practiced and who didn't.
Yeah, so I think the good thing there is that we talked to Jalen today. He said that he anticipates playing in Detroit, and that's, I think, the way that things were trending. And he came out of his mouth today. He was never going to play in that game against the Vikings, which obviously, some gamesmanship there with the injury report, because he was listed as questionable, and he said he was never playing. But the workout was important. The reps are important. He needed more of that. Like you said, you can't replicate game speed. So the fact that you were doing it for about 30 minutes before the game on Monday was important for him. So that's trending the right direction. DJ Moore trending the right direction after he got blown up over the middle between those two defenders. That's good. But Grady Jarrett on this injury report, 2 days in a row, DNP with a knee injury. Don't forget, he had an ACL 2 years ago on the other side of 30. So that's not, it's not something you play around with. I would imagine that since he didn't go today, whatever he does tomorrow, he'll be, maybe questionable, doubtful for the game if he does anything. But if not, they're going to be without their top interior pass rusher. That's a problem against a team that you should be able to take advantage of a matchup on the interior. We saw the new center, new right guard in Detroit. That's a very exploitable matchup. I think that they're going to want him there for, and if they can't, that's more Javon Dexter, that's more Andrew Billings, and I would anticipate with Kyler Gordon, knowing that this popped up last Sunday, when he came in, he said that he had some tightness back there, according to Ben Johnson. That's one that doesn't sound like it's, in a good spot right now. And maybe that the only thing that they can do with that, because it is a recurring soft tissue thing, is rest.
Courtney, on the other side of the ball, what did you make of what Caleb had to say when he met the media after practice last night with regard to his footwork and his accuracy and some of the questions that he was answering?
Yeah, I mean, the thing that stood out to me was how when I asked him about why does it come in bunches, because it did. Beginning of the third quarter, 3 straight throws, 3 straight incompletions, 3 straight off-target throws. When he's talking about footwork's clean sometimes, it's not clean other times, but then, the hesitancy part, that made my ears perk up, where he's telling himself in games, just let it rip, be confident, do not think, don't overthink this. Throw the ball where it needs to go, because if you don't, then you're overthinking things. You're giving defenders more time to get to you, and I think it's a problem. I wonder still, for somebody who threw 6 interceptions last year, and there's a difference going from a defensive head coach who's more times going to be risk averse to those things than an offensive head coach who's going to want to be more aggressive. Is that a habit that he has to get coached out of? To get coached into being more aggressive. And I asked Declan Doyle about that today. How do you balance that? Because, there's times where you're going to want him to take some chances and not feel don't take the shot because you might turn the ball over. How do you, when he's got these accuracy issues right now, how do you still have that mindset? That's a very fine line to balance. And when you go against, a defense like Minnesota where they weren't pressuring you like you thought they were, and then all of a sudden they do, that probably made him more hesitant in the second half based on how he thought they were going to adjust and how they did.
How do you feel about all of these issues, whether it's the happy feet or the inaccurate passes? Waddle and I don't think that we've debated this, but I don't know if we're exactly on the same page. Because I still think, Courtney, the stuff that you were talking about, being decisive and sometimes being hesitant, that he's going through everything like a checklist and it's not coming through naturally. Whether it's how he's breaking the huddle, whether it's the cadence, whether it's going through the pre-snap reads and then reading things during action. I feel like it's a checklist instead of just doing it, reacting, and because it's not natural yet. And when it becomes more natural, hopefully some of these issues go away. Waddle thinks, you're inaccurate, you're sloppy footwork, and that's the cause of it. How do you feel about all this?
I think I'm kind of more in line with you, Silvy, just where I see he's thinking too much because it's all new. And the processing stuff that Ben Johnson told us about, how much he had to do that was different mentally than any other point of his career, this is part of it. Footwork has to match up with where your arm angle is going to be, with how you're going to throw the ball. It's all rhythm and timing. And when you have to do that and you're thinking about it, naturally there's going to be some sort of second guessing that goes into that. It's not just going to always be a clean operation. And so I think it goes hand in hand with somebody who's learning a new offense, that until you rep that time after time after time in a game, it's going to look sloppy in moments. And there's some things that are inexcusable. I still stand by that with the 4th and 3. You're an NFL quarterback. You have a clean pocket. You make that throw. I don't want to hear it. That is not on the receiver whatsoever. DJ ran a fine route. If you want to be upset about the choice route that he ran later in the game and say, that's them not being on the same page, the way that Declan Doyle pointed out today, that's fine. But for easy throws, the simple ones, the layups, the ones that he says he wants back, that cannot be Like when you go from week 1 to week 2 to week 3, you cannot see that happen again, because then you're going to start really questioning about, bigger picture things with this quarterback, when those are the layups that he's supposed to make that any of the 32 starting quarterbacks in the NFL should be able to make.
I think he was top 5 in most off-target throws last year, wasn't he? Somewhere.
Yeah, and I mean, the red zone's an area where it's really bothersome. Like, I look back at those numbers. He has 31% off-target throws in the red zone. The only one worse than him is Cooper Rush in the last 18 games. That's bad.
So, regardless of system, it sounds like a tendency that needs to be broken. Also, he could be helped out by a more stout offensive line. I believe that he was pressured on 23 dropbacks. I would assume that they need Dahlman and Jonah Jackson to be a lot more firm against the Lions than they were against, albeit a great front, but they were against the Vikings Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, that was, if there's any weakness that you point out from the offensive line, it's that. That's not something that, I'm sure they didn't come away super happy with. There are times, it just feels like with the quarterback and handling some of the interior pressure that's coming his way, handling stunts, I wasn't super impressed watching it back with Drew Dahlman. But then again, can the head coach, when Ben Johnson talks about some of the issues that he felt like he didn't call a great game, that's what he said. Like, that's one of the things, to scheme those guys away, to scheme away from some of their issues, some of the flaws from the interior. I thought that we saw it was part of the offensive line with what they did with Braxton Jones the other day, bringing in Theo Benedette as the extra lineman, having Cole Kmet over there for a significant portion, at least in the first half. I think there's ways that if you're seeing some issues on the interior and you're worried about the pressure that your quarterback is dealing with there, then you can find a way around that.
Courtney Cronin joining us. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000. How do you feel about Cairo Santos? Do you feel that a lot of people are jumping and wondering about his future, or do you think it's validated by not being able to kick it through the end zone? And who is that on, by the way? Shouldn't Hightower know better, being a guy that has coached him in prior years?
You got to be able to make that field goal. And I realize I'm very glass half empty today for a lot of different reasons when it comes to hearing some of the excuses that, are given with this team. And, Richard Hightower did talk about that today. He said that, kind of kept it pretty close to the vest, but he said, the player said he could do it. What are you going to do? Not trust the player who says, yeah, I can kick it out of the back of the end zone? I think in an instance like that, where you'd already seen him miss a 50-yard field goal, you're not going to put him in that situation where he's got to kick it, 70-plus yards out of the back of the end zone off the tee? Really? Like, what are we missing here with that? This is somebody who you don't have multiple blocked field goals in the same season and blame it, it's the operation. The operation is that your kicker doesn't have the strongest of legs, and you keep trying to justify that he does. And that's, nothing on the training that he's done this offseason. I just think that is what it is, and this is the best that you're going to get, and it could be a liability.
Yeah, so what do they, Courtney, what do they do? Like, Waddle insists that we call him Captain Cairo because they elected him one of the 5 captains. Would they look to start bringing in guys weekly for tryout? Would they sign a guy like Jake Moody? I know he's been bad, but someone like him to the practice squad, so that way you have an emergency solution just in case?
It's a tough call just because they were so decisive with him. Like, not that Jonathan Kim, the guy they had in during training camp, had much of a chance here, but they've been loyal to Cairo. They gave him the extension 2 years ago. Like, they are, very fond of him and what he can do. But I think that if it happens again, maybe you chalk it up to, first game, whatever. There were no conditions. It wasn't windy. Like, it was a normal night at Soldier Field where it was a nighttime game, maybe a little damp on the grass. But, let's be honest. No conditions caused him to go wide right on that field goal. I think if you start seeing a pattern here, that's when you start thinking about options, because they chased, those are 3 points that they were chasing at the end of the game. And that, certainly that's on, you can go back to 3 other points earlier in the game on the 4th and 3 that they could have taken, an easier field goal there and they wouldn't have been chasing at the end. Whatever it is, I just think that you can't put yourself in a situation where you're limiting your options if that is a liability, which after one game, it kind of looks like it.
What do you feel about the matchup on Sunday, Courtney, with regard to which team may need this win more, as silly as that may sound, or which team may be feeling a little more heat than the other? Again, because there's also the Ben Johnson relationship here.
Oh, it's definitely Detroit, guys. Like, no question. And that's not to say anything about where the Bears are right now, where they're going, but Detroit has been a playoff team, a deep playoff team, one of the best teams in the NFC the last 2 years. If they want to get back there, they have to win this game. They're like no team that started out 0-2 since 2002 when we did realignment. No team has gone to the playoffs after going 0-2 against division opponents first 2 weeks. Like the numbers support that. So I think if Detroit's still thinking that they're a playoff team, which they absolutely should be considering the strength of this roster and how talented this roster is, despite the coaching changes, they need it more than anybody else. But obviously, there's the personal element, too. The Ben Johnson, Dan Campbell of it all, how things went down for Ben at the end of his time there. Certainly fans feeling like they were, I don't know, spurned or whatever. Like, I think that's kind of silly because Ben Johnson made them a relevant team for the first time in I can't tell you how long. Yeah. But there's naturally going to be some sort of, I think for Bears fans, there's going to be the feeling of, can we just beat a good team? Can we beat a team that we had been in games with, like they were on Thanksgiving Day, that they had come back against? And I just look at the situation, though, and know that it's not going to make or break Chicago's season right now, because I don't know if they're a playoff team. We know that Detroit has the capability of being that, so by that account, I think that's absolutely way more important for them to win this game.
Courtney, big game, I think, for Montez Sweat, isn't it? Last week we saw a new player with the Green Bay Packers against the Lions, and Micah Parsons play limited snaps, and a pressure forced an interception. He got a rundown sack there. Jared Goff is not the most mobile. I think he had like one pressure the entire game this past week. It's time for Montez Sweat to start producing.
Yeah, I mean, look how good Dio Odingbo did the other day. Interior pressure allowed him to come off the edge and look like the player who you would pay a contract like that to in free agency. Not to say Sweat had a bad game. He just had a quiet game. So, yeah, I'm in full agreement with that, and you guys know how I feel about that. You're paid $25.5 million. You should be the best defensive player on this team. You should be wreaking havoc every single week. And, yes, I know he's going to get more attention on that side. That's what they do. But you're supposed to be a game changer. You're supposed to be a game wrecker. At some point, that's got to come alive. And knowing, I know what Dennis Allen said today when I asked him how different the run game looks based on the offensive line changes. And he said it doesn't. It absolutely did last week. It didn't seem like they had a clue what they were doing with the run game. And that's supposed to be the strength of that team. They should be a much more dominant force up front, given the enforcements that they have with the pass rush. And I would anticipate that this is a game where Montez can break out, considering it was quiet against Minnesota. And they were taking advantage of that left tackle spot based on Christian Darrisaw not being there. But, it just happened to be that Dio Odingbo was getting most of his work there.
Courtney, why do you think they let go of the rope in the fourth quarter defensively and gave up 170 yards and 21 points after three very impressive quarters of football?
There was a defensive pass interference, which was kind of a ticky-tack one on Tyreek Stevenson. I think they were gassed, guys. I think Noah Sewell had a really good game until Kevin O'Connell, who is a terrific play caller, saw an opportunity. Hey, let's get some stuff going off play action. Now we can get the run game going, and then vice versa. I think that they took advantage of a team that was pretty banged up. And certainly on the end of it too, Nashawn Wright gets hurt. The cornerback injuries start to pile up. To me, they played 3 great quarters, and then those injuries bit them in the fourth quarter. And now that you have the prospect of getting Jalen Johnson back this week, I think it might be a different story.
All right, so where can we see you tomorrow on ESPN, on the television?
Vibe Checks. It's our show that we've been doing on Disney Plus, and so we'll do a college football and an NFL breakdown. It'll be that, and Monday as well. And then looking forward to Detroit. I love going to Detroit every year. I know a lot of people think it's not their premier destination. I know we've got the big crew going out to Vegas in a couple weeks for obvious reasons. People are excited for that. I love going to Ford Field. It is one of the best environments in football. Ben talked about it this week. You know how loud it's going to be in there? Like, louder than probably usual, with all these fans who feel like they were owed something by somebody who was clearly ready to move on and become a head coach. I'm sure they're going to be letting Ben hear it. I just want to see, can they not have 4 false starts in a quarter, or excuse me, in a half? Can they use a silent cadence? They've done it before, obviously. They did it last year in Detroit. Can they do it, and can that be how they start working around some of these false start issues and these pre-snap penalties that just haven't gone away yet?
All right, safe travels, Courtney. Great work.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Courtney Cronin, all over the Bears. I want to talk about that. Remind me later to bring up the Ben Johnson getting booed thing. I do find it a bit odd here with the way Detroit fans feel. If you want to weigh in about anything we talked about with the Bears, the Caleb topic seems to be the most popular. There was a listener who went after Cap today. Cap wasn't having it. We're going to play that for you coming up next. It was Crash Out Cap on Full Tilt. Like, I'm not saying he was wrong, but he was screaming. You won't want to miss this. I want to play that for you. And then Courtney mentioned our Vegas trip. We are adding another road trip to the schedule. And this will be a little different than the Vegas trip. So we'll tell you how you can join us on a road game coming up in the not-too-distant future, and it's on a great date, too. I should let you know that. All that coming up. It's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000.
You're in the middle of the Waddle and Silvy Show, ESPN Chicago.
At Coast Ivoni, we get you.
What do you mean, we get you?
You're a Chicagoan, right?
I am.
You know about all the things that make this city what it is, right?
Of course.
And when you meet a fellow Chicagoan, there's that connection.
It's a pride of being part of the greatest city.
Nobody's going to tell you you're the second city or the third coast.
All right, already. I get you.
No, it's we get you.
This is Courtney Cronin, and my friends Anthony Iavoni and Julio Costa are ready to fight for you, Chicago. 708-4million.
Coast Ivoni, your trusted local personal injury lawyers. We get you.
Hey, football fans, time to get out of the house and watch some Sunday football with me. I'll be at the Hooters, located by O'Hare on Higgins Road on Sunday, this Sunday, September 14th, to watch our boys battle Detroit. Kickoff's at noon. I'll be there at 1 to join the fun after the pregame show. And I'll be sampling Hooters wings, pretzels, cold beer, and cheering for a big victory as well. Not only will we watch a great football game, but we're also giving away Hooters gift cards throughout the game. So join me this Sunday, September 14th, for the Chicago-Detroit game at Hooters on Higgins Road.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, hims.com/joy.
Hey guys, it's Silvy. Football season is finally here, and if you want to kick off like a pro, you need Circa Sports Illinois, the world's largest sports book, now right at your fingertips. Circa does it the right way. High app limits, low holds, incredible customer service, and no bet fees, ever. Other books might charge you just to get in the game, but not Circa. With Circa, every play is your play. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Ready to finish what you started? At North Park University in Chicago, transferring is seamless. Bring your credits and complete your intended major, or choose from 6 accelerated, fully online programs designed with working professionals in mind. The warm Christian community welcomes those from all faith backgrounds, and students graduate ready to lead in schools, communities, and beyond. You'll be supported every step of the way to thrive in your chosen career. Apply today at northpark.edu. North Park University, where faith, purpose, and career come together.
If you're turning 65 or new to Medicare, Humana might just have the health plan you're looking for. Our Medicare Advantage plans offer coverage and care you can count on. You could get a plan with a $0 premium or an all-in-one plan that may include medical and prescription coverage, as well as routine dental, vision, and hearing. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
Lowe's knows you've got a job to do, and we help get it done. With the MyLowe's Pro Rewards program, eligible members save more with volume discounts on qualifying orders through a quote of $2,000 or more. Join for free today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Offer can't be combined with any other discount, contract, and/or special pricing. Exclusions, more terms, and restrictions apply. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Every great team has its core players, but when the season gets tough, adding the right free agent can make all the difference. The same goes for business. At Robert Half, we found that 67% of companies surveyed plan to increase their use of contract talent to handle workload peaks and backlogged projects. With Robert Half's specialized recruiters' experience, combined with our award-winning AI, you can quickly find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, we know talent. Discover how we can help at roberthalf.com/talent.
There's crash bang.
And then there's...
Of course, the first one is our great defense.
The other means someone is hurt. I'm Lisa Longo.
And I'm Jim Morisi of the Chicago personal injury firm of Morisi, Longo, and Associates.
We're here for you when an injury happens. Having us in your corner is a smart move.
Visit us at MorisiLongo.com.
MorisiLongo.com.
We're here when you need us.
Football season's back. Make Surfside your tailgate must-have. Real vodka, real brewed tea, just 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. Easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it wherever you tailgate. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
All right, football fans, it's time to elevate your game with tough as nails Toyota truck. I drive the Sequoia, and I absolutely love it. Tacoma is the big-time playmaker, no matter what's in your game plan. Tundra's a tailgating MVP that works hard and plays even harder. And the 4Runners and Hall of Famer when it comes to rugged roads. Whichever Toyota truck you choose, you're riding with a champion. So do what I did and visit your Chicagoland Toyota dealer today. They're going to roll out the red carpet for you. You can check out all the models at Toyota.com as well. Toyota is the official vehicle of the NFL. Toyota, let's go places.
Live from State Street in the heart of Chicago, this is the home for every Bears game. ESPN Chicago. And this is Waddle and Silvy, WMVP, WTBC, HD2, Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
I simply am asking the question.
Another guy that they just signed after his first game.
Well, Chris, please,
that's what's problem.
Chris,
stop.
Since
2017.
Chris, stop for a minute. No one said anyone's getting benched. Please follow along. I said, how much patience at any position will Ben Johnson have? That's all I'm asking. No one's saying anyone's getting benched. It's one game. I asked how much patience a coach being paid $65 million guaranteed is going to have. That's all I'm asking you, man.
Crash out Cap right there. We'll hear the entire call, and you can be the judge. We'll do Let's Talk About It involving the entire... That was just the climax. I just got you the good stuff right there. You know, do you usually fast forward to just the climax, Waddle, or do you like the scene to play out?
Yeah, I like the slow burn. I like to see the whole thing, not just the quickie and go. It's not me.
I mean, it is.
I'm here for the whole show,
How outstanding is that?
Oh, it is great. Like, I mean... I that's early in the morning too to get revved up at that level, you know.
What time was that?
It was like 6:45.
That was in the 6 o'clock hour?
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine? I don't know how many people even do this anymore. Probably very few. It's probably just the olds in the audience, but I don't even have a clock radio anymore. Do you remember the days?
I don't have a clock radio.
You do or don't?
I don't, no.
But did you ever wake up to, like, like the alarm of the radio station. No, not the beeping. Like, that's my point, like, to whatever station you would set it to.
Oh, yeah. I used to wake up to Mike and Mike.
Right, exactly. Like, and that's how I used to do. And can you imagine if you had your clock radio set to ESPN 1000 and then it would go, and then that's what's waking you up? That's the first thing you hear as you're like trying to get your bearings. I can't imagine that.
Hence the reason I don't have a clock that plays that. when I wake up.
Yeah. So I'll play you the whole call here in a second, and if you want to react, 312-332-3776. All right. We have another Bears road trip. So as Courtney was just talking about, you had your opportunity to book a trip with us to Vegas, and it was something that was available to purchase if you wanted to go with us. Everything, like from hotel to the air travel to tailgating to the tickets to the game. This one, as I believe the whole radio station will be doing like a homecoming of sorts. I think this was something that we came up with. We workshopped on Crosstalk, and our management came through with us. So we're doing a homecoming on the Waddle and Silvy show where we go to Cincinnati for Bears-Bengals.
Yes.
So we're going to Waddle's hometown. I don't believe in all the years that we've been together, Waddle, that you and I have ever been to Cincinnati.
You know, we call it the Las Vegas of the Midwest, right?
Is that what it is?
Yes. So we'll be actually going to Vegas twice this year, just the real Vegas and then the Las Vegas of the Midwest.
The real Sin City.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Porkopolis is, there's so many Nasty Natty, the Queen City, Porkopolis. There's so many different names for my fine hometown.
Yeah, the Queen City, I told you, too, is shared by Charlotte.
Yeah.
There are two Queen Cities.
Yep.
And so this one is not available for purchase. We're not. This is not a purchase trip. The only way you can get to Cincinnati with us for this football game is courtesy of Bud Light. And it's the Bud Light Windy City Takeover. Every day on this show, we will be doing Tom Waddle trivia.
Oh, boy.
As it's a Waddle homecoming. And if you get the answer right and you're the correct caller, you're in the hopper. I believe we're going to be doing this for 3 weeks. The game is November 2nd, by the way. Waddle, do you know what November 2nd is, don't you?
It is the day after November 1st.
That's what Danny said to me when I quizzed him earlier.
Oh, really?
November 2nd, our record.
Whoa. I got it. Was that Game 7 of the World Series
you are correct.
in 2016?
So our record together, watching Chicago against Ohio on November 2nd, is 1-0. This is a guaranteed Bears win.
Yeah, you were a douche that day, despite the fact that the Cubs won the World Series. So are you going to be more in better spirits for this one?
I was a douche during the game. That was like the biggest grinder of a game that you can get through. Like when you expect me to like massage you when Rajay Davis hits a home run?
No,
I gave you the double bird.
Yeah, I think
you and Pastor and Delavitt, you were all rooting for the Indians at the time.
Time out. There is a chasm as wide as the Grand Canyon between rubbing someone's back and giving them the double bird. Like, those are the world's greatest extremes.
It's true, but I am an extremist as far as my sports stuff goes.
You know what? Drive it down the middle lane, okay?
Okay. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
So there are going to be ways you can win this trip on our show, and then Shay and I are also doing appearances. I'm going to be at Rizzo's a week from today. I'll advertise that. I don't want to confuse anybody. But for this show, Tom Waddle trivia for the next 3 weeks. If you get the question right on the air, you'll qualify for that chance to join us. The winner and the guest will receive round-trip airfare between O'Hare and Cincinnati. What is it called?
It's called the Greater Cincinnati Airport. It's in Covington, Kentucky.
Yeah, because the way this is written is O'Hare and Cincinnati and Northern Kentucky International Airport.
Yeah, it's in Covington. These Greater Cincinnati Airport, for all of you that don't know, is actually in Northern Kentucky.
So we're not getting in a van. Not that there's anything wrong with this, but we are flying. So that is great. You'll win 2 tickets there. You'll get your hotel. You'll get VIP seats. We're going to be doing an event on the Friday in Cincinnati. So we're doing a show Friday. You'll be our VIPs at that show. You'll get tickets to the game, obviously.
And you'll probably, I think one of the other prizes that's not mentioned is you'll get an opportunity to meet one of my best friends on the face of the planet. His name's Phil Vogel, and he is one of the world's most interesting men, and he's also one of the friendliest guys you'll ever meet.
One of the nicest guys in the world. Yeah, absolutely. I've met Phil Vogel a couple of times, and he's outstanding.
Yes.
So, and then what I'm hoping to do is, whether we rent a car, we take an Uber, is you take us around. I want to see Moeller High School. I want to see where you grew up, Bridle Path Lane.
You want to see the house?
I want to see it all. I hear all these stories, and I've created an image in my head of what goes on. I want to go to, what's the place called where you get the ribs, and then there's another.
Montgomery Inn.
We got to go to the Montgomery Inn. I know that's very touristy, but I've never been there.
Yeah.
The last time I was in Cincinnati, I believe, is when I was 8 for a Cubs-Reds game in the 70s at Riverfront Stadium.
Yeah, there is no chance the Reds will be playing on November 2nd, so you won't see a Reds game. But, my assumption would be that Kings Island's probably still open.
Oh, you think so? I would love to go there.
I don't know. It's just probably 30 minutes north of where you'd be staying.
Yeah, is it Mason, Ohio? Is that where it is?
I think so.
So, again, the way we're going to do this, one trivia question about Waddle every day. Are we starting today or are we starting tomorrow?
Starting Monday.
We're starting Monday. Yeah. Okay, so we're starting this Monday. We'll do it for 3 weeks. Everyone then is in a hopper if you get it correct, and then the grand prize winner goes. So, again, this is a pretty exclusive trip. This will not be like a group of a few hundred people. We're going to take a small group. We're going to fly to Cincinnati, and we're going to root on the beloved. So
yeah, we're going to fly into northern Kentucky, which is right across the river from Cincinnati, and then we're going to stay in one of the few hotels there. That's why the group's not going to be as large as it would be in Vegas, but you'll enjoy it. It's a good small town. You get to meet my brother, I'm sure, as well. So you'll get a little feel for what growing up in the middle of the country in Cincinnati felt like.
In the Colonel. Yeah, that's right. That's what they called your brother.
Maybe I'll get my dad to drive up from Knoxville, Tennessee.
How long of a ride is that?
5 hours.
All right, yeah. I'd love the whole family. That would be outstanding. All right, so, again, it's the Bud Light Windy City takeover as we go to Cincinnati to cheer on our favorite football team. Yeah. All right, so there's that. That starts on Monday, and then the call, as we just mentioned. This is how it started, Waddle. I don't know if you heard the entire call.
I did not.
Let's talk about it. And if you want to weigh in, who's right, who's wrong here? 312-332-3776. It's brought to you by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. So this was this morning, and it started innocently enough. Like, Chris, the caller, was very composed. He's a big fan of the show. Take a listen.
Hey, Chris, good morning.
Good morning. Love the show, guys. Cap, this message is directed at you because Hoodie says he's not going to go up and down with every win or loss. But we went through the entire draft process, and you would tell caller after caller how the Bears are taking Caleb Williams no matter what. How are we, after one game, talking about even suggesting benching this guy after one game into his second season?
Who suggested that?
You did.
When did I suggest that?
You were saying, if stuff doesn't go well after the first few games, they could be looking at a change. What are you suggesting?
Well, that does not sound like me saying that they should. All I said was, what level of patience will this coach have?
I didn't say that you said that they should. You're suggesting it, and this is why.
I am not suggesting anything.
This is why.
Hold on, Chris.
I'm going to call in. This is why the Bears go through quarterbacks.
The question.
We have gone through 3 draft picks since 2017, highly drafted, and you guys you are running people out of town. You guys have the biggest microphone in the city, and it's what's wrong with the Chicago Bears. This guy has played one game in his second season, and we're talking about going to a Division II quarterback over somebody that won the Heisman in 2022.
Hold on a second. You've had your chance. Now I'm going to speak. I never said they should bench him. I never suggested they are benching him. I simply asked a question. Listen to the question. How much patience will this head coach have? And I said, not just at quarterback, at any position if they don't start winning games. That's the question.
They're not even considering it up there. They're not even considering it up there, and you guys are leading with that. They're not even considering that.
Considering
you really
what?
think Ryan Poles would allow them to start Tyson Bagent over Caleb Williams in year 2 after investing that?
No one is saying that. Please pay attention. Take the couple Q-tips.
Listen every day, and I'm paying attention. What changes were you would say? Who is up for getting benched on that team right now?
I didn't say anyone is. I said.
What changes then were you suggesting?
Okay, all I said was at any position.
You didn't say at any position. You guys have been hitting at Caleb for the past 48 hours.
Well, I believe this morning, in fact, we could pull the tape, I said, not just at quarterback, at any position, how much patience is he going to have? I mentioned at right guard. That guy had a bad game. I simply am asking the question.
Another guy that they just signed after his first game.
Well, Chris,
please,
that's what's problem. Chris,
stop.
Since 2017.
Chris, stop for a minute. No one said anyone's getting benched. Please follow along. I said, how much patience at any position will Ben Johnson have? That's all I'm asking. No one's saying anyone's getting benched. It's one game. I asked how much patience a coach being paid $65 million guaranteed is going to have. That's all I'm asking you, man. No one's getting anyone benched. Stop, please.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Chris, we appreciate the telephone call, and now he leaves line open.
Hoodie.
That could be the best part of the whole thing.
Hoodie always.
How Hoodie's coming, and he's just like, that leaves the line open for you.
Yeah, Hoodie knows how to punctuate every sentence. He knows how to bring it home.
Chris, please.
That was, I think that's as mad as I've ever heard anybody on this station get.
In a long time, yeah. I haven't heard that level of anger in a voice in a while.
All right, so how do you rule here? Let's talk about it. Who's right, who's wrong?
There's some areas of gray. I wrote this down. I said, first of all, we at the station, we don't run people out of town. I mean, we talk about sports. We're not in charge of player personnel decisions. So I think that for Chris, that's a little bit of an exaggeration.
I wrote the same thing down, Waddle, because I get that a lot, too, because I'm very opinionated.
Yes.
Oh, Silvy, you ran Justin Fields out of town.
No.
And I'm like, no, I didn't do anything.
No,
exactly.
I'm
giving my opinion. We're having fun. We're talking sports.
Yes.
And it's always up to the teams to do this
I think
stuff.
but I will say, when you do ask the question of patience, I would say this. I believe there will be a lot of patience in 2025, but it won't be an unlimited amount. So, I mean, if the inference was that there is going to be a change after the bye or after the halfway point, I would not. That's not something I'm expecting. But I am also one, I've had this conversation with you. Like, I don't think there's an infinite amount of patience with Ben Johnson for anything. I'm not suggesting that I'm foreshadowing any type of, massive change in any way, but like, this is the NFL, man. Like, you got a certain period of time to prove that you can do it, and if you can't, they, especially with a new guy in charge, they'll look in a different direction.
Yeah. Like, I that's not even on my radar about benching him or anything like that. The way I summed it up today in my column, we've talked about it all week, is on one hand, I'm patient, but on the other hand, I think it's fair to say it's got to get a lot better now. Like his growth will be, a patient thing that we watch. But there are, like Courtney said, you've got to hit DJ Moore there. Whether you're patient for his long term or not, you could still demand that quarterback in that moment in that call on fourth down has to hit the wide open receiver.
Yeah, listen, that's the conundrum here is that, like, yeah, I get it. I get, your perspective and others that say you think he's thinking too much. And I agree in certain ways. But I don't think, the lack of accuracy is directly related to just thinking too much, because last year it was an issue. He was as off target or had the highest off target percentage of any quarterback in the league, or was in the top 5. And it seems like a problem that kind of reared its ugly head again in week 1 of the season. So regardless of the system, I think his fundamentals, I think his footwork, and he'd even talked about it. I think those are things that he's got to really work on. And when, the situation gets tense, you've got to make sure you stay true to your fundamentals, or otherwise you're going to have yourself some issues. So I think that the processing issues and the becoming comfortable with the system is more evident when you look at him play and you go, well, why did you hit the check down when the right play was to hold it an extra tick and push it downfield? Or why did you wait for the play to develop when you know you should have? Like, I know this sounds weird, but there are moments where you have to take the check down because the coverage you're facing doesn't fit the play combination, the route combination that you've called. So you take the check down. In other situations, a check down may be open, but you may get the look that you were expecting. And if you hold it an extra tick, the wide receiver comes open, and that's your shot play. And sometimes he doesn't take the check down when it's the right route, and sometimes he takes the check down when the right decision is to hold the ball a little bit longer. And that's where I agree with you that this will take time learning the system. That's where he needs more reps in this system.
And also, like the footwork part, too, that should eventually become second nature. He's got to think about it at this point. When you have to think about it and it's not a natural thing, like how many times is Lamar Jackson at this stage of his career, or Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes worried about their footwork? The answer is none, because it's second nature, right? And I feel like his brain is so scrambled at this point that from learning the offense, thinking about the footwork, thinking about the check down, thinking about this, it's not second nature yet to him. And I think that's where some of the accuracy is a problem.
I've said all along, the one comp that I hope he becomes is Josh Allen, because Josh Allen was sloppy and he had a low completion percentage and had some of the same issues early in his career, but worked hard at it, stressed the fundamentals, and became the MVP type player that he is right now. And Caleb may clean all of that up. Until he does, it's fair criticism.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Like, some of it can be cleaned up, but you got to be diligent. You got to work on it. You got to stay, honed in. And if you do the right stuff, then, like I said, hopefully that's his path. He will take the Josh Allen path. If he doesn't do some of the things that Josh Allen did to become a better player. Did you see the special when they showed the Buffalo, the Bills and the Ravens game where they talked about his throwing motion?
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the kind of thing that you've got to spend a lot of time in the lab working on.
Yeah, the Waddle's alluding to when they showed his throwing at Wyoming and how different it is than with the cameras when they show in slow motion his fundamentals. Now, our buddy George in Oak Park is on the line. How do you rule, George? Team Cap or Team Chris?
I'm Team Chris.
Why are you Team Chris?
I'm Team Chris. What's up, Waddle? Waddle, what's wrong with your voice? You going through puberty?
Yes, exactly it, George. I'm going through puberty. It's a good guess. You should be a doctor. You should be a doctor.
It's house voice. He's sick, but it's also house voice. When he's in the studio, he speaks differently than when he's on the air at the house. He's got house voice right now.
Both of you are stupid. Neither one of you knows
You do it. You have
Chris, please. Chris.
Go ahead, George. I'm sorry.
No, I agree more with Chris. I think I was at the game, and it was sad. I cried.
You cried?
A little bit, yeah. Hey, a lot rides on the Bears for my mental health. Like,
let's talk about it.
I'm a good father. I'm a good father. I'm a good husband. I'm responsible. If the Bears are bad, It's bad.
But that doesn't affect your parenting or your being a husband, does it?
No. Patience a little more thin, you know? Maybe you guys just don't love the Bears like I love the Bears.
That's right. You love the Bears more than anybody.
But anyways, what I was going to say is, like, yeah, we need to be patient with Caleb. Yes, he made some awful throws. Man, that game should have been a blowout from my point of view where I was sitting in the stadium. But at the same time, like, I think his problem is between his ears, not his physical abilities or capabilities. I think he's going to get better. We need to be patient.
George, thanks. Yeah, like
George.
I think you could demand and be patient all at the same time. If you're really being nuanced.
I don't understand why this is an either or.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I can announce to the world that I'm going to be patient with the Bears quarterback as he learns a new offense. At the same time, I can levy reasonable and acceptable criticism for airmailing shots to wide receivers. Both things can be true, you know, and I don't think that, you know, I don't think that there's an issue with that, to be honest with you.
All right, if you want to talk about what we were just speaking about with Caleb, if you want to talk about the Chris versus Cap call, and however you slice it, it was a crash out, and it was fabulous. 312-332-3776. Jesse's going to join us at 6, where we're up to number 5 on our greatest clip, brought to you by Great Clips. And we'll play that at about 5:45. So a lot to do in the next hour. We're on till 6:30 today. How about that?
You're listening to Waddle and Silvy on ESPN 1000, Chicago's home for sports.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
Guys, we turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. Hey guys, it's Silvy. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
It's fall again, and that means football, falling leaves, cozy fires, and, of course, a fresh haircut at Great Clips. Whether you want a whole new look for the season or just a trim on a cut you already love, the skilled stylists at your local Great Clips salon are ready to bring it to life for less. With a convenient online check-in, you can add your name to the list and stop in whenever it works for you. They'll even send you a ready next text when you're up next for your haircut, so you can get all your fall errands done rather than waiting in the salon. Once your cut is finished, the friendly stylists at Great Clips will save the details in clip notes so you can get the look you love every time you come in. And the best part, Great Clips' everyday affordable prices mean you'll have money left over for fall fun as well. Ready to look your greatest for the new season? Download the app and get into your local Great Clips salon for a fresh fall haircut today. Great Clips, it's going to be great.
Howard, got a question. It's fall, I'm on the road.
Beautiful. Michigan's calling.
It was Wisconsin.
Okay, the point.
Some guy behind me admiring a sugar maple rear-ends me.
Been there. What happens, Howard, when you're hurt and you're out of state?
Hopefully you'll never experience peak color and pain, guys. But if you're injured, out of town, I can most likely assist. Aiken Law is attorneys licensed in all contiguous states and referring attorneys across the U.S.
So you could still help me out.
312-6-million.
Howard Ankin is our attorney on the Cap and J. Hood Show, weekday mornings on ESPN Chicago.
1/3 of Illinois State University students graduate with zero debt, and Redbirds go on to earn $15,000 more a year than the national average just a few years out of school. Get real return on your investment. Apply today to start creating your legacy at illinoisstate.edu/apply.
Listen for Danny Acker and the Crane Chicago Sports Business Minute, airing Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on ESPN Chicago. Presented by Chicagoland BMW Centers.
The post-crib assembly press conference, brought to you by Progressive.
Michael, you had some trouble putting the crib together today. What went wrong?
You know, those instructions can be tough, and, well, you saw the outcome.
Were you upset when your wife pulled you and called in the backup?
No, I mean, the baby needs a crib to sleep in, so whatever it takes.
You've got a changing table to put together next. It's got a lot of drawers. What's your comment?
You know what? We're done here.
Like it or not, sometimes you need a backup. That's why there's Progressive to protect your home and auto. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
All right, guys, I want to tell you about my friends over at Window Nation. And before the weather turns, now is the perfect time to finally upgrade your windows in your home. They'll look great. They'll work better. Your energy bills will go down with new energy-efficient windows that are backed by Window Nation's guarantees. 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION, or go to windownation.com to see all they have to offer. And this month's special here for the remainder of September is buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus nothing down and no interest until 2027. That's a lot of money right back into your pocket with no interest payments. An easier way to pay off your project. And my guy, Alan Favada, will come over and give you a free in-home estimate. He's the one who took care of me. He's their sales manager and a true expert when it comes to educating you on windows, because who knows things about windows if you're not a specialist. Again, their phone number is 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION, or windownation.com, and let them know that Silvy sent you.
With Robinhood, not only can you trade individual stocks and ETFs, you can also seamlessly buy and sell crypto at low costs. Trade all in one place. Get started now on Robinhood. Trading crypto involves significant risk. Crypto trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Crypto LLC. Robinhood Crypto is licensed to engage in virtual currency business activity by the New York State Department of Financial Services. Crypto held through Robinhood Crypto is not FDIC insured or SIPC protected. Investing involves risk, including loss of principal. Securities trading is offered through an account with Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, a registered broker-dealer.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play.
Guys, I want to tell you about my visit today to Cairo One. Cairo One Wellness Centers are all over the Chicagoland area. Did you know they have 50 Illinois offices? I want to thank my friend, Dr. George Walker, who oversees all 50 in Illinois, and he's one of the best in the business. He's a big fan of the Waddle and Silvy show and ESPN 1000. I went to the Libertyville office for Cairo One Wellness Centers, and they gave me a full exam. They took x-rays, and this is corrective chiropractic care, where they're not just going to send you in, put you on the table, and just adjust you. They want to find the root of the issues and make you feel better in the long term. So do what I did. Book your appointment at one of the 50 Illinois offices, Cairo1.com. That's Cairo1.com.
It's that time again when we venture deep into the great unknown.
And in Chicago, Tom Waddle. He can't run, he's not fast, but he gets open.
A trip inside the mind of a multi-concussed former Bears wide receiver.
He caught everything that was thrown and took every hit that they could give him, and he had an all-time day in the use of smelling salts.
Buckle up, boys and girls.
Tom Waddle, every team wants to have a Tom Waddle. If I had a football team, I'd like to have a Tom Waddle on my team because you draw from that.
It's time to go inside Waddle's world.
Tom Waddle did have to use a lot of smelling salts.
Oh, yes. Welcome into Waddle's World. It's brought to you by our great friends and partners at Wintrust Community Banks. They are Chicago's banks. To find your nearest Wintrust Community Bank, visit wintrust.com/find us, member FDIC. I understand we have a million people who want to talk, and they've called the show, so that's what we'll do.
Full bank of callers reacting to the Caleb conversation, the Chris versus Cap. Do you have like one story that you wanted to share? Is there a funny story? Anything else we need to know in the realm of Waddle's world?
Not really. You know,
nothing from space.
I had no space stories. I had some good sports stuff. I had some comments about skiing, and Lamar's apologized, but the NFL's not going to do anything to him. Purdy's out. Kittle's on IR. Got a lot of other issues, but. Yeah, I think it's more entertaining to have people decide whether or not Cap was right or Chris was right.
Yeah, football tonight, by the way, too. Packers, Packers, Commanders. That's going to be really good.
Should be a great game.
Yeah, if you can get them at 3.5, I would suggest the Commanders and the points. 3, but I think it should be an interesting game. That's for sure. All right, let's go to these calls. Kyle and Bradley, team Chris or team Cap? Kyle.
Hey guys, I'm actually team Cap here. I went back and listened to it on the app, and Cap never once said anything about benching Caleb. In fact, he reiterated the fact that we brought Ben Johnson in here to change things and to hold people accountable. And everyone tries to change the rhetoric. You guys never run people out of town, and I really think Chris was just trying to rile him up because we know Cap can get kind of riled up, but never once did he suggest or say that he wanted to bench Caleb. He's talking about accountability, and, so I'm team Cap here.
I like that. That's a very common sense call right there. That was.
I didn't hear Caps ever say that, look out or he's going to get benched either. I mean, I think it's a provocative question to ask. How much patience will the coach have? But I don't think any of us know.
Yeah, I didn't. The one thing about the 6 a.m. start, too, for their show, it's not conducive for my schedule. Now, you could go back and listen like he did on the app, but, I usually I start listening at 7:30, with the kids and everything and everyone getting ready. So I missed the beginning. And unless it's something, big for me to get up in the morning, 6 a.m. is an early wake-up call.
It's an early wake-up call for sure.
Tom's in Oak Lawn. All right, Team Chris or Cap?
I'm Team Cap. They should bench Caleb. I'm just kidding. I don't want people coming after me.
Very good, Tom. That was good.
But I am Team Cap. I listened to it live because I have to get up early today to drop off my kid for band practice. So at 7 in the morning. So I heard the whole thing. And again, he never once said specifically Caleb. He was saying all positions. And it is a, fair question to ask because Ben Johnson, the new head coach, we don't know what his tendency is. We don't know how patient he would be. And for anybody to suggest that Cap has any power to run anybody out of town in any of our sports teams is just, ludicrous.
Amen.
Absolutely right. Look, if we had power to run people out of town, Matt Eberflus never would have been the head coach last year on this show. We would have driven him to the airport at the end of his second year.
And if you had that kind of sway, your favorite baseball team would have a different guy on the top step.
Well, I was a fan of the Craig Counsell hire until I got to know Craig Counsell a little bit.
That's my point.
I don't want to run him out of town, though. I'm not at that point, at least yet. Stanley's in Aurora. What's up, Stanley?
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I'd say I'm going with Team Chris on a technicality, even though I agree with Cap. If Cap would have said, if he would have just admitted, there's a chance they could bench Caleb, then he'd be right. But he tried to hedge his bets. But I'd say that if they do, I think there is a chance they're going to bench Caleb. And if he's not succeeding, it's the right thing to do. But the guys who are running quarterbacks out of town and who are keeping the Bears from quarterback success for decades isn't the media. It's the fans in Chicago who care more about a good story or a likable guy than they do care about winning, somebody who's actually going to perform out there. And Bajan's never going to be anything but a backup. So if we bench Caleb by the middle of the season, we're going to be on the quarterback carousel again, and he's going to be a bust, and we're going to have to find someone else.
I would say this, if I could add, and I'm not voting for either side at this point. What I'm saying to you is back to the point that we're not running guys out of town. You know why guys are out of town? Because the general managers in certain situations have picked the wrong guys, whether it's the quarterback or the coaches to develop the quarterbacks. And at the end of the day, the guys or the play of the position hasn't been good enough. The media hasn't run people out of town.
Or even the fans. Didn't the last caller just say he thought
or
more
the fans.
Fans don't want a nice... I think it helps if you have a good player who's like a cool guy. That helps. But I'm not saying I ever want Tyson Bagent to start out of a benching of Caleb. But but I also think it's careless to say that Tyson Bagent could never be a starter in this league. I documented this before with multiple players. Case Keenum took the Minnesota Vikings to the NFC Championship game. Jeff Hostetler won a Super Bowl. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. Purdy was the Mr. Irrelevant or the 7th round pick, whatever it was, when they drafted a quarterback with the 4th overall pick. Tom Brady, on and on and on. Like, if you want to say, Tom Brady's the exception, there have been Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was an Arena League team who couldn't catch on with the pass. It was a 4th string quarterback out of Northern Iowa in Green Bay. To say that Tyson Bagent can't do anything, and this is not anything to do with Caleb, but I just think your eyes are closed. You haven't watched the NFL then.
Yes. So. I would not put a ceiling, an artificial ceiling on anybody that you haven't been given an extensive amount of time.
John is in Orland, wants to talk about patience. Hey, John, you're on ESPN 1000.
Hey, Silvy. I'll add Tony Romo in that conversation that you just mentioned as well.
Jimmy Garoppolo, there's another one.
Yeah. I'm on Chris's side. So here's the reason why. How we look at Caleb and the Chicago Bears right now is essentially just like a really bad relationship over the years, right? So we just don't have any more patience of what we've seen. And so ultimately, any situation that occurs that's not the right thing with the Bears or Caleb, we just don't have it anymore in us. So essentially, we get aggravated really quickly. That all being said, I think we just have to look at some history. I think Jordan Love a couple of years ago, right, when he started, I think the first 4 or 6 weeks, it was rough. And then he went on a little run. And so when we have supposedly a generational quarterback, in some sense, a generational coach, it's got to work. It has to. We just have to believe in the process, and I think good things will eventually happen. And lastly, I do think Caleb has a little bit of jitters, and I think he has high standards for himself. He feels the noise. As much as he says he isn't nervous, it's his feet. He's just got happy feet right now, and I think once he figures that out, I think we're going to have a good story to tell at the end of the year. But right now, on Chris's side. Thanks, guys.
A lot of good callers today.
I'd also say, hey, how about, Drew Dahlman and Jonah Jackson were huge additions this year. Neither one of them really held up as well as they needed to. Again, that is a really stout Vikings front line. But you're going to play some of those. I'm not giving you an excuse. I just know you had a tough assignment. I don't think they did a good enough job to protect their quarterback, nor did they do enough to open some space in the running game. Now, if we're going to ask for patience, I would say the same thing about the offensive line. It takes time for them to work through their ups and downs and getting to know the guy next to you and the guy to your left and the guy to your right. Some of those intricacies are going to need to be kind of that gem's going to need to be polished. But like they carried the ball, non-quarterback runs 20 times for 61 yards. Do the math. It ain't good enough.
Not good enough.
This offense is predicated on running the football, play action, and a lot of other creative stuff. So, and okay, real quick, your defense played stellar football for 45 minutes. You gave up 170 yards and 21 points in the fourth quarter. Your special teams, you missed a 50-yard field goal. You got a punt blocked, and you gave up 17 yards per punt return, and your kicker couldn't kick it through the end zone. So, like, I could take my microscope and shine it on a number of different things and come up with that ain't good enough. It ain't just the quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good thought right there. By the way, you can always watch us even when Waddle's got the house voice at home. I'm here in the studio. Whether we're at house hall, you can always watch us on our YouTube page, youtube.com/@Waddle and Silvy. Make sure you subscribe. Anything you missed, whether it's Joniak or Barstool Big Cat yesterday, we had Jeff Saturday on, or earlier today, Courtney Cronin. It's all right there, and also you can watch live on Twitch. It's all brought to you by FenceWorks. My guy Jake, go see him in their beautiful Northbrook showroom. You could check out the latest in playground sets for your front or your backyard. Trampolines, the best and the safest out there. Basketball hoops, lots to choose from with different features. I just got the NBA backboard for my driveway. My kids love it, and they're always outside playing. Or if you need a new fence, my guy Sandy or one of their other outstanding salesmen will come to your house, size up your property. They'll custom build it for you. Go to theguyon41.com. That's for FenceWorks, theguyon41.com. Coming up next, what is number 5 for the all-time greatest sports clips? It's brought to you by Sports Clips, by Great Clips. We'll play that coming up next.
This is Waddle and Silvy on ESPN Chicago, Chicago's home for sports.
The ESPN Chicago Fantasy Football Show, brought to you by Tullamore Dew.
Welcome to Fantasy Football!
Set your lineup with Jeff Meller's guidance. Sunday morning at 7, ESPN Chicago.
Thank goodness the football season is here. And what is glorious about football season is the weekend feasts. They are so delightful. And one of my guilty pleasures during this football season is to enjoy that feast, eating dips with chips and wings and veggies, all while watching the big games. And that means Daisy French onion dip and Daisy ranch dip as well. These are as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you're going to find right there in your own kitchen. So do what I do. Put Daisy French onion dips on your game day roster. Look for Daisy French onion dip at your local grocery store.
Wallner Law helped me get the compensation that I deserve.
Wallner Law helped me get back on my feet.
Thanks to Wallner Law, I'm at a better place today.
Wallner Law cares for you. We're compassionate. We're empathetic to your situation. And I promise you, I will get you more money than any other law firm in the city of Chicago. That is my promise to you. Hire us, win with us, be successful with us. Call us at Wallner Law, 312-8-million.
Football season is back, and Surfside is bringing you your tailgate must-have. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your home team. Made with real vodka and real brewed tea, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Hey guys, it's Silvy. Football season is finally here, and if you want to kick off like a pro, you need Circa Sports Illinois, the world's largest sports book, now right at your fingertips. Circa does it the right way. High app limits, low holds, incredible customer service, and no bet fees, ever. Other books might charge you just to get in the game, but not Circa. With Circa, every play is your play. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Brother Justice American Single Malt Whiskey, your new game day go-to sip. Football's back, and so are game day rituals. Lucky jersey, comfy chair, and the perfect pour. Sip neat, or for a next-level old-fashioned, Brother Justice is a guaranteed dram fine sip. Inspired by a real-life bootlegging monk, Brother Justice is handcrafted with 100% pale ale malted barley and aged in custom-charred white oak barrels. Don't settle for a backup bottle. Get Brother Justice today at Binny's or online at brotherjustice.com, brotherjustus.com.
Football is on tonight, guys. It's time to pick up some Connie's Frozen Pizza on your way home from work. You don't want to cook. Enjoy some Chicago-style, thin, crispy pizza. And I cut it into squares just like they do at Connie's. Thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy that true slice of this magnificent city anytime, anywhere. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are classic thin pies. They're made with that same delicious cornmeal crust that Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. It really is a Chicago institution, perfectly cheesy and saucy, and exactly what you want on hand when you're craving pizza. So do what we do, get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born right here in Chicago, enjoyed everywhere, available at your local grocer's freezer.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to the end of summer sale at AutoZone. We're celebrating the end of long days and short nights with big deals for a short time, like car wash. Right now, you can save 20% on the Armor All Complete Car Wash Kit. Need new brakes? Duralast brake pads are free with the purchase of Duralast rotors. We've also got oil deals and more. We're ending the summer right with the end of summer sale at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Fall is a time for football, falling leads, cozy fires, and of course, a fresh haircut at Great Clips. Whether you want a whole new look for the season or just a trim on a cut you already love, the skilled stylists at your local Great Clips salon are ready to bring it to life for less. With convenient online check-in, you can stop in whenever it works for you. And with the affordable prices at Great Clips, you'll save money for fall fun as well. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and get a fresh haircut for fall at Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Hit the road in a brand new Chevy in less than 1 hour at Advantage Chevrolet Bolingbrook. You can sign and drive away in 60 minutes or less. Seriously. Or they'll cover your first car payment. Every new Chevy is backed by the Advantage Plus program. Advantage Chevrolet Bolingbrook. Together, let's drive.
Every season brings change. One year it's rookies making headlines. The next year it's a whole new coaching staff. Even the rules of the game keep evolving. But here's the thing, you don't want that kind of change showing up on your internet bill. And with Xfinity's 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about it. One price, 5 years guaranteed. That means while football keeps shifting and life does as well, your internet price stays locked. No surprises, no hikes, just a reliable price for a reliable connection. And Xfinity goes all in, unlimited data, the best Wi-Fi equipment included. It's like signing your star quarterback to a 5-year deal. You know what you got, you know it's reliable, and you know it's going to perform on game day. So while teams retool and the league evolves, your internet stays rock solid. To get started, call them, visit them at Xfinity.com, or drop into an Xfinity store today. Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming. Restrictions apply, new residential customers only. Taxes and fees are extra and subject to change.
From championship calls
3 seconds at midcourt. Gives it to Jenkins for the championship.
to the soundtracks of summer.
There's a drive. Deep left center. Cubs win. Oh, baby.
And everything in between.
Pull up your pants, take off the bra, and be a man.
Waddle and Silvy count down the greatest clips of all time. Presented by Great Clips, number 5.
But before we get to that highlight, Waddle, what do you have for our great fans out there?
Caller 10 right now wins a 10-pack of haircuts from Great Clips, 312-332-3776. Great Clips stylish. Use Clip Notes to know the details of your haircut. Download the Great Clips app today. At Great Clips, it's going to be great, and it's going to be great if you're caller 10 right now.
I think, in my world at least, the top 5 are all ones that you'll say, oh, yeah, that's definitely one of the greatest calls in the history of sports, and we appreciate Great Clips for the support on another outstanding contest and countdown here. So this is number 5. This was in 1982. I believe John Elway was in this game. I believe Ron Rivera was in this game. And Joe Starkey is the one who has the call. So, like a lot of people may not know, Joe Starkey, he was on KGO 810 on the play-by-play, and Stanford had just taken a lead with a field goal with 4 seconds left on Cal, and then this is what happened.
Harmon will probably try to squib it, and he does. Ball comes loose, and the Bears have to get out of bounds. Rodgers along the sideline, another one. They're still in deep trouble at midfield. They tried to do a couple of... The ball is still loose as they get it to Rodgers. They give it back now to the 30. They're down to the 20. Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. The Bears! The Bears have won! The Bears have won! Oh, my God! The most amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football.
They call that the play. It was dubbed the play. Like the following year, Sports Illustrated when Sports Illustrated was a big deal, wrote like a 12-page expose on that. A lot of people thought there could be like a penalty called, but they examined it, and they said there was no missed calls there, that it did stand and it should have stood. And then like just the call there, Waddle, with the way his inflection and the excitement calling it from the Cal Bears standpoint, and the band is on the field. I think once you Google that, the band is on the field play, and that's what will come up. It is incredible.
You can tell that somebody is just truly and genuinely excited, and you can hear it in his voice, which is just phenomenal. I was just getting the chills hearing somebody scream, "The Bears are going to win."
I know. Why haven't we used that, Charlie? Now, you haven't been with us. I don't know why Meller all these years, like after a Bears win, we should start each show, "The Bears have won," or "The Bears have won," however he was shouting that.
Unfortunately, there haven't been enough of those moments to actually dive deep into the sound archives.
So, Charlie, if they beat Detroit, let's start the show with that, at least that one snippet.
By the way, I did not realize. Maybe I did, but maybe I forgot it. I didn't connect that Ronnie was on that team.
Yeah, I said that to the guys too. I go, if I remember correctly, Ron Rivera was in this game, and then the boys checked, and sure enough, here I'm looking at the description of the play. But Cal Stanford, 1982, Joe Starkey with the call. The band is on the field. The play.
Fabulous.
So that's number 5. We'll count down the top 4 in the next 4 weeks. As Jesse joins us next, too, it is an anniversary in sports history, 2 of which I believe you will remember very, very well, okay? One was 40 years ago today. One was 30 years ago today. So it's in the Wayback Machine, but I think you'll recall both when I bring those up. And then we'll talk to Jesse. He'll also talk some Bears because he was at the Bears game, and I know he's got a lot of Bears thoughts. So we'll do all that. Aki Zaylis coming up. We're on till 6:30. It's Waddle and Silvy.
Waddle and Silvy on Chicago's home for sports, ESPN Chicago.
The home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago. Invite your ears to join us for Bears and Lions in Week 2. Not just the play-by-play of Joniak there and McKee at noon, but 4 hours pre and 4 hours post. Black and Abdallah hosts pregame tailgate at 8. Network pregame with Tom Waddle, Deion Miller, and Mark Silverman at 10. Postgame with Yurko and Peggy Kaczynski, and postgame with Jason McKee, Jeff Meller, and Pat the Designer. Listen on our app, AM or FM HD. It's Bears and Lions Sunday. Coverage starts at 8. Kickoff at noon on the home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Guys, got a plumbing emergency? You got to call my friends over at Four Seasons. An electrical emergency? Call Four Seasons. Heating or cooling not working? You know who to call. It's Four Seasons. Maybe you need a new hot water tank installed today. Call my friends at Four Seasons. You think about a whole home generator? Guess who's got you covered? Four Seasons. At Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. It's a great thing for all the right reasons. Call them at 866-4-SEASONS. That's 866-4-SEASONS.
True North convenience stores and Red Bull are an elite matchup. True North offers Legends Red Bull Original and sugar-free. First-round picks like watermelon, wild berries, and rookie Red Bull Zero. Right now, grab 3 of your favorite 8-ounce flavors for $6.50 and save 10 cents off a gallon with the True Rewards mobile app. Available in your favorite app store. Score this deal before the clock runs out. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean.
Hey guys, it's Silvy. Football season is finally here, and if you want to kick off like a pro, you need Circa Sports Illinois, the world's largest sports book, now right at your fingertips. Circa does it the right way. High app limits, low holds, incredible customer service, and no bet fees, ever. Other books might charge you just to get in the game, but not Circa. With Circa, every play is your play. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 years or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Fall is a time for football, falling leaves, cozy fires, and of course, a fresh haircut at Great Clips. With convenient online check-in, you can stop in whenever it works for you. And with everyday affordable prices, you'll save money for fall fun, too. Download the app today. Great Clips. It's going to be great.
September is Pediatric Cancer Awareness Month, and Steinhoffels is teaming up with Special Spaces Illinois to do something really special. Here's how easy it is, guys. Just stop by a Steinhoffels this month and test rest any mattress. We're going to go to one of the locations, the one in Vernon Hills, over the weekend to test rest a mattress. And when you do, you'll get a $20 restaurant gift card, so dinner's on them. And then Steinhoffels will donate $20 to Special Spaces Illinois. This is just for a test rest. They're an incredible group that creates dream bedrooms for kids battling cancer. So swing by Steinhoffels this September, take a test rest, enjoy a night out, and make a child's dream bedroom come true.
Coach Saban here. On the field or on your walls, coverage matters. That's why I go with Behr Marquee Interior Paint and Primer from the Home Depot.
Exceptional hide, advanced stain blocking, and over 1,000 colors to choose from. Behr Marquee delivers one-coat coverage that stands up to real life. One-coat coverage, no overtime. Behr Marquee, only at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid only when tinted to colors from the Behr Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Collection.
eBay has reinvented vehicle buying. From click to curb, everything's covered. Ever try to buy a car online and end up in a parking lot with a stranger and some blind trust? That era is over. Now with Secure Purchase, eBay isn't just where you find your car. It's where you buy it, start to finish. Title, financing, registration, delivery, it's all built in. This is the modern way to buy your next ride on eBay. eBay. Things people love. Secure Purchase is powered by Caramel Dealer Services, LLC, an eBay subsidiary.
Crash, bang, suddenly you are on the DL. If that happens as a result of somebody else's negligence, we can help. I'm Jim Morisi, Chicago personal injury lawyer. Our experienced attorneys and support staff will talk with you during a free consultation, tell you your options, and ensure that you take the right steps throughout the entire process. Visit us at MorisiLongo.com. That's MoriciLongo.com. Your future is our priority.
Guests appearing live on ESPN Chicago. Call in on the Yuengling hotline.
Yuengling is in Chicago. After 196 years, you can now enjoy Yuengling Traditional Lager, Light Lager, Golden Pilsner, Black and Tan, and Flight.
Football season is back, and that means it is imperative that your game day menu is set. At our house, that means dips with chips and wings and veggies, all while we watch the big games. And that means Daisy French Onion Dip and Daisy Ranch Dip as well. They are as delicious as a homemade dip, and they're made with real herbs and spices and other ingredients you'd find right there in your own kitchen. So do what we do. Put Daisy French Onion Dips on your game day roster. Look for Daisy French Onion Dip at your local grocery store.
Live from State Street in the heart of Chicago, this is the home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago. And this is Waddle and Silvy, WMVP, WTBC, HD2, Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
One of these is got to be near and dear to your heart, Waddle.
What's that?
Before we get to Jesse, 40 years ago today, had to do with your Reds.
40 years ago today, my Reds, 40. So in 85. Wow, 85 doesn't ring a bell.
I know you were too busy winning for the Bears that year.
Not true. Not true.
This is the anniversary of Pete Rose breaking Ty Cobb's hit record to become the hit king.
Nice.
40 years ago today. I knew you'd like that one. Our buddy Mitch and Bartlett gave me both of these. And then 30 years ago today was the Bears-Packers Monday night game. You were gone. This is not the one from, obviously, it's not Halloween. This was the one in 95. I think Brooks had that 99-yard touchdown reception. I think Rashaan Salam had a couple of touchdowns but fumbled as he would normally do. And I believe this was the game where the fan
jumped out of the stands and
yes, and caught the field goal or the extra point. I forget what it was. He later Lynn Swann interviewed him on Monday Night Football, and he was like on David Letterman a few days later. He jumped out of the end zone stands where the tunnel is to catch the football that went over the net, and he did catch it, and he didn't break his legs.
No, I think, and wasn't it Butthead? Didn't it Butthead? Was he still with the team at that point?
It sounds right. Yes, I think it. Yes, then Wani, I think, replaced him with Carlos Huerta the following year. But this was, I think, Butthead's last year with the Bears in '95.
I remember the video of that, and then they did it in slow-mo. Which was amazing. Yeah. It was a great catch.
If you've not seen it, if you're not old enough, or you simply just don't remember, Google fan catches field goal football or something to that extent. And the interview with Lynn Swann is just a classic. This is such a Chicago guy.
Yeah.
Northwest side of Chicago. Total. He's talking about how he played high school football and everything like that. It's really good.
And I am, to this day, I'm shocked he did not suffer any type of injury like a broken leg.
Yeah, it's incredible. It really is. All right, let's talk to Jesse Rogers. He's brought to you by your local Chicagoland Toyota Dealer Association. Toyota, let's go places.
Come on, Jesse. MLB insider Jesse Rogers.
Jesse Rogers.
Jesse Rogers. Jesse Rogers. You found out that you were going to be a Cardinal. How, Tommy?
Jesse Rogers joins Waddle and Silvy.
Look like you're swinging for the lake there.
Tyler, put out a poll. Call her daddy. What is it? Call my daddy. I'm a big believer in protection.
On ESPN Chicago.
Now, let me guess, Jesse. Did you book the guy who caught the field goal for Northie back in 1995?
I don't think I did, but I should have.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that you didn't, because that would have been right up your alley.
Right
Jess.
up your alley.
I am getting some echo. Tyler, I might need to reset with you.
No, that is just us. We're playing around with you.
Yeah.
No,
hello,
okay,
hello,
let's
Jesse.
Or just call us or something like that. We tried to
do
the
let me call back, because I'm hearing myself twice.
Jesse.
Once is enough to hear Jesse. Have to hear Jesse twice. That's hell right there.
Have you been watching Cubs baseball with all the football thoughts that are running through your brain?
Last two nights I have. Now they're off tonight. And remember, I told you and I told the audience, I thought, and I was helped by a little boost as well. They had a 50% boost on one of the sites. I took the Cubs as a dog against Chris Sale, knowing that it would be a tough matchup. But look, it's still the Braves, and the Braves don't score a lot of runs. And sure enough, that thing came through in a big way yesterday.
Do you know where the Cubs find themselves in the latest ESPN Major League Baseball power rankings?
5 or 6.
Nope.
4.
Nope.
7.
Correct. They have dropped from 4 to 7 over the course of the last several days, if not weeks.
Yeah, got to start playing better. Got to start scoring more runs. The power outage. Got to get some runs. All right, Jesse, you hear me once or twice right now?
Hearing you once. And Waddle, actually, we vote for that every week, and they compile, the votes and do whatever the average is. And I think I voted them 7th. I think I did vote them 7th. Remember, they lost a home series to the Washington Nationals.
Yeah.
One of the worst teams going. They lost their closer. They lost their right fielder. So in the moment, I think 7 was about right. They're probably better than 7 when healthy, and I think I would rank them higher as they head to the playoffs, especially if Tucker and Palencia do come back and Cade Horton is doing Cade Horton type things. So I still think they have a pretty good shot. Their magic number, by the way, is 8 to clinch a playoff spot. That is a fait accompli because the teams behind them aren't exactly lighting the world on fire. So they're set up to host that home series and go from there. And I think they have a shot. I think they have a shot to do some damage. I don't think you'd consider them the favorites, but a chance to do some damage in October.
I heard you this morning with Carmen and Yurko, and I could not agree with you more. We have discussed it. I was actually surprised that Carmen was so surprised at your thought process that Cade Horton should be the game one starter. And the way you drilled down on this for so many different reasons about whether or not, if the pressure is too big, I think it's even worse for him to start game 2 or game 3 in that situation, especially in an all hands on deck moment.
Right. I want to take all doubt out of it and just season end Sunday. Here's the ball on Tuesday. Go. I don't even worry about elimination games or game 3 or let's bring him out of the bullpen late or what. No, start game 1. The Padres have never seen him. They have no idea what's coming. I mean, this guy is elite right now, and counsel let him go a few more pitches than normal. It tells me in his last start, it tells me he's healthy. They're just saving him for the right moment to unleash him, and I think that will be in game 1 of the playoffs. That is my prediction, that he starts game 1 in the playoffs. I will tell you it's not a done deal. I think it's something they're discussing. This is just my opinion right now, but I think there's a lot of reasons. Maybe even near the top is the fact that the Padres have never seen him, and I think he get through 2 times through that lineup before they even know what hit him.
How would you describe this Cubs team, Jesse, as they motor through September here, getting towards the postseason? Like, what type of adjectives would you use to describe this team as they are now?
Yeah, I mean, like last night's game is an example of what they can do. Knock a home run against a good pitcher, get on base, steal a couple times off him, get a Justin Turner RBI double off a lefty, which you will probably see in the playoffs. Like, they're scrappy enough and have just enough both in the rotation and in the bullpen to scare some teams. I like this Cubs team. I don't know if I love them in the playoffs. And I don't know if I love them against the Phillies or even the Dodgers. But until that moment, I kind of like them. We talked about the importance of Brad Keller last week. It's even more important with Palencia's uncertainty. Palencia is going to be back. That was just a reset. Give him 15 days. Things are not going well. But what form of Palencia will return, we don't know. Keller becomes even more important. But with the emergence of Cade Horton, they really do have 3 starters. Yeah, Matthew Boyd's not at his best at the moment, but he's not far off. He's not far off, and Shota is Shota. It's really the questions on offense as we head down the stretch here. Pico Armstrong, 237 against righties since the All-Star break. Disaster versus lefties. Seiya still struggling. And, of course, Tucker out of the lineup. If somehow those last 10 days offensively can crystallize, okay, now we have something, Tommy. I like them. I just don't love them. I think that probably is a lot of people that are listening right now to us feeling the same way.
I want to play you something. This is something that we've done recently where we do like the winners of the day. It's called Wins with Wallner. Wins with Wallner brought to you by Wallner Law. Wallner Law handles the toughest cases in car and truck accidents, medical malpractice, and injuries on the job. Wallner Law. Win with Wallner, and the winners of the day is Old Man Strength, Jesse, something you just alluded to. Let me play the clips here because the old men were on display yesterday. You mentioned Turner, Santana with a great defensive play, and then Kittredge. Take a listen.
Sale fires. Line drive, base hit, left field. Here comes Dansby around third. He's coming in to score. Turner takes the turn, racing for second, and he dives in. Line drive, one hop. Oh, Santana. Kittredge gets over. Well, the Gold Glover a season ago, and he shows the good hands right there. Carlos Santana. Tap towards third. This is Shaw. And that's the ball game. Cubs win. Kittredge closes it out.
They're all 35 and older. Of those 3, Jesse, who will have the bigger impact down the stretch?
Probably Kittredge because of the Palencia situation. He moves up a notch, right? But don't discount Justin Turner, and don't discount Justin Turner in a playoff situation. The Padres, for example, have some good lefties. He will get those at-bats. He's hitting 275 against left-handed pitching. I know it's nothing special, but you know what? Michael Busch is hitting 185. PCA's hitting 184 against lefties. Those guys will get pinch hit for late in the game, especially if Alcantara and Willie Castro are around, who can play center field for PCA. So I Kittredge probably down the stretch more than anyone, but don't discount Justin Turner.
Hey, I hate to give everybody whiplash, but I have a question for you about these White Sox, Jesse.
Sure.
I mean, they're 9-2 in their last 11 games. How much of this is something that White Sox fans should be really excited about next year? How much of this is, there's nothing to lose out there, they're playing free and easy? Who are these White Sox?
No, I think there's some excitement, and I do think this is something that can carry over. Not saying the 14 Cubs to the 15 Cubs is the same thing, but there's some carryover when something like this happens late in the season for a young team. I would be surprised if it all of a sudden went backwards next year. I really would. I've talked to scouts. They're just amazed at what steps they've taken offensively since the All-Star break. It really is quite amazing. You got to give a lot of credit to Will Venable and that staff. It's just having a bunch of adults in the room, steadying the ship, even with a bad record, and just going at it again. Next day, get better. And all of a sudden, Colson Montgomery, does what he does. And this offense, I mean, I knew the pitching staff would take steps. I did not know this offense would. So I do think it's something sustainable, something to carry over. And I think they just want to finish strong and take that attitude into next year.
Waddle mentioned the 9-2 over since August 31st, 25-25 since the All-Star break, too. And, a lot of these young guys have developed, and that's where I think most Sox fans should be pretty happy is it just seems like the right player development people are here from the manager, from the front office standpoint, the people in charge of pitching and hitting. They've just, it seems like, done a good job of bringing these young guys, this first wave of young guys around.
It was about the only real opinion I had when you asked me about Getz after he made all these hires. I said, I do like the hires. I have no idea if it's all going to work because of Reinsdorf, because of this, because of that. But the hires he made from the pitching infrastructure guys he brought in, player development, and Josh Barfield, who did it in Arizona, these were good guys, adults in the room. I keep saying that because that's what it was needed over there. And Will Venable certainly applies, in that category as well. So it's about as well as you could be expected, if not a whole lot better when you consider what they've done on offense.
All right, Pigskin Jesse, what happened to our favorite football team Monday night on the lakefront?
You were there.
Yeah, I was. My usual, kind of blitz before the game, and then all excited and come down to earth late in the game. I mentioned this on Carmen Yurko. Waddle, I don't know. I was on the Vikings side of the field, high up, and for some reason, my buzzed brain was watching Kevin O'Connell the entire game. I don't know why. Besides the game, he was walking the sidelines by himself, and I didn't know if there was going to be panic in the Vikings down the stretch or his play calling was just going to get it done. You know what I mean? Like, to me, from a distance, he exuded confidence, and I didn't know if it was going to be false confidence or because he only went up to J.J. McCarthy a couple times. It wasn't like he was in his face the entire game. He was just doing his thing on the sideline, but calling the next play. And I just was so impressed how they turned it around. I know the Bears gave it up, but at the same time, you have to give the Vikings a ton of credit. And I'll just say what you got, like, if Caleb Williams is accurate, they win the game. Like, if he's just accurate on the simplest of throws, they win the game. Having said all that about Kevin O'Connell and the Vikings, all he had to do was hit a couple of those throws, and the game's probably out of reach. So really, really weird to see that. And, last thing, you guys know, the crowd went ape you-know-what on the pick six and thought, like, it was the first big moment of the new season on the pick six. And it looked like, okay, this is going to go the right direction. And it's amazing to go from that to what happened just really a few minutes later in the fourth quarter. I mean, not that long later in the fourth quarter. It was such a come down in the stands from that moment to the end of the game.
Yeah, Jesse, I told Waddle that I thought, in the beginning of the game when the defense took them 3 and out and then the offense scored, that the place was up for grabs. And then, like you said, in that third quarter, when things were going really well, the pick six, and they still kept momentum for a little bit, and then Cairo missed the field goal, that it just, when I think back and I think about how juiced up and amped that crowd was and optimistic, it's such a buzzkill to think that they lost that game.
Yeah, and my observation about O'Connell was just like, I don't think I've ever watched a play caller the entire game. And they're really on an island,
Well, let me ask you this. Why are you watching him and not Ben Johnson?
Because I was on the Vikings side.
He was on the Vikings sideline.
I can't even see. I don't even know why I was watching him so much. During the commercial breaks, I was buzzed. What can I say? And so I'm just,
That's weird. That's weird.
Right, and I just was watching him, and they're really on an island out there. Calling plays. He's not talking to a lot of people.
Well, you know what, Jess? I know you were fixated on Kevin O'Connell. They kept showing on the television copy that it was Josh. Josh was the one that was taking care of the conversations with JJ. He's their quarterback's coach, and I think that's kind of the dynamic that exists in Minnesota. that O'Connell's over here taking care of, the mad scientists in the lab. And we all know Josh, he's one of the best persons on the face of the planet, is over here responsible for making sure his young quarterback his mind is right.
And about halfway through the game, I'm thinking, literally in my head, I'm doing a talk show. I'm like, does O'Connell realize his offense stinks? But then he just kept at it. Just kept at it, made adjustments. Obviously, you see some different play calls, and then boom, 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 the whole game changes. I don't know. I was just so focused on him. And you're right. He talked to J.J. McCarthy maybe twice on the sideline the entire game. Came over to him like twice. Once during a timeout, he went on the field, once on the bench, and that was it. And then they come out with that fourth quarter. It was quite amazing to watch.
All right, as we let you go, Jesse, one more baseball thing. Are the Cubs going to lose Carter Hawkins?
I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know the answer, but it is very interesting who they're interviewing because it would be going from one extreme to the other. Mike Rizzo, as you might imagine, more of an old school guy. He held on to scouts as long as he could. Carter Hawkins, more of the new school computer kind of guy. And so this would be a complete change for the Washington Nationals. And that's the other people they're interviewing as well. I don't know if they're going to lose him. I'm going to say probably not. But it's kind of interesting to see who they're interested in, and Carter being one of those finalists.
I'm rooting for Washington to hire him.
I knew you'd say that.
I knew. All right. See ya, Jesse. Thanks, you.
Jess.
Chris. See you guys.
How great was that? It's so good. Do we have that one more time? Can we play the beginning part of that just for the people who missed it? I've had people ask me about this.
Please, Chris! Chris!
If you missed it, it's in the 6 o'clock hour of Cap and J Hood. We played it then, the entire call. What time was that? At 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so check that out. All right, Waddle, what are you expecting tonight here as we've got to go to Bears Weekly here shortly?
I think it's just been revealed that the Packers are without two of their starting offensive linemen. Zach Tom will not play, and I believe the free agent signing from the 49ers, Banks, is out. Is that right, Tyler?
Yes, both of those guys will not play tonight.
That's not good. It's hard.
Or it is good.
Well, yes. I mean, I'm for them. Jordan Love is a very difficult quarterback to sack. That makes him more sackable. I think it's going to be a great game. I'm with you. I probably, if I could get the hook 3.5, I'd probably take the Commanders, but I do believe that this is going to be a close game throughout.
At 3, I may stay away. Don't forget, if you missed anything on the show today, go to our YouTube page, youtube.com/@WaddleandSilvy. You can always watch us live there and on Twitch, and it's all brought to you by FenceWorks. Check them out today at theguyon41.com for play sets, trampolines, basketball hoops, and the best fences out there, and you will not receive better customer service than at FenceWorks. Thanks to Courtney Cronin. Thanks to Jesse Rogers. Charlie, well done. Tyler, well done. For Waddle and House Voice, I'm Silvy. It's ESPN 1000. Have yourself a great Thursday night.
Waddle, he's gone.
Really excited.
That was a big thrill.
Hi, it's Andre Dawson, including myself, Ed Belfour.
There's a very low percentage of this that is smiles and glory holes.
Who's getting wild tonight? That's what I'm talking about, baby.
No high from you?
What?
No high from you?
I give him more buys than highs.
Waddle, waddle, waddle. Then he waddled away, waddle, waddle, till the very next day. Bum, 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 bum.
And thank you to all, and to all a good night.
I just want to say thank you all, and as always, everybody else. I love y'all.
True Chicago-style pizza? It's not what out-of-towners think it is. True Chicago-style is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. Thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made with the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, enjoyed everywhere. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
Every season brings change. One year it's a rookie making headlines. The next year it's a whole new coaching staff. Even the rules of the game keep evolving. But here's the thing. You don't want that kind of change showing up on your internet bill. And with Xfinity's 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about it. One price, 5 years, guaranteed. That means while football keeps shifting, and life does too, your internet price stays locked. No surprises, no hikes, just a reliable price for a reliable connection. And Xfinity goes all in. Unlimited data, the best Wi-Fi equipment included. It's like signing your star quarterback to a 5-year deal. You know what you got. You know it's reliable, and you know it's going to perform on game day. So while teams retool and the league evolves, your internet stays rock solid. To get started, call them. Visit Xfinity.com or drop into an Xfinity store today. Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees are extra and subject to change.
We at the Verdoliak Law Group recognize the value of advancements in technology. Computers, cell phones, and the internet have all made obvious impacts on society. And now, artificial intelligence, or AI, is poised to make its impact. Many law firms are replacing paralegals, law clerks, and even attorneys with AI. But will AI work longer and harder to ensure you get every penny you deserve? At the Verdoliak Law Group, AI will be used as a tool to make us even more efficient, but it won't replace our human touch. All of our clients and cases are unique, and an algorithm or cookie-cutter approach cannot capture the human element of your injuries. There is no substitution for human experience when dealing with people. That's why, for over 60 years, our clients continue to refer their family, friends, and coworkers to us. Of course, the Verdoliak Law Group will embrace technology, but we will always keep that human touch, which has aided us in successfully helping over 40,000 clients. If you're injured, call the Verdoliak Law Group, Chicago's legal landmark since 1963. Call 844-4VLG-LAW, 844-4VLG-LAW.
This is the take care of my family goal. This is the enjoy the life I've built goal. This is the set up a foundation goal. This is Busey, where your goals become lasting legacies. Through bespoke plans that maximize your wealth, through partnerships that give you peace of mind. Because building wealth, tending to it, and passing it down secures a brighter future. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
You know me, I love a moment of certainty. And when it comes to your home, Jeff has the solution.
That's right, Jeff, because in this market, you shouldn't take a chance selling your house with just anyone.
No commissions, no lengthy showings, just a direct approach from a local veteran-owned company.
Since 2007, we've been buying houses quickly in Chicagoland. Get your easy as-is offer today.
Move forward with confidence, just like winning the coin toss. Visit JeffBuysYourHouse.com.
Hey guys, it's Silvy. You know those old drafty windows that let all the cold in and just don't look right? It's time to upgrade, and Window Nation can get it all replaced in a day or less. Right now, they've got an amazing deal. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 2 years on top of that. I trust Window Nation because I've got their windows throughout my own home. I've seen the quality and the difference they can make. Call 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com for your free estimate.
Fall is a time for football, falling leads, cozy fires, and of course, a fresh haircut at Great Clips. Whether you want a whole new look for the season or just a trim on a cut you already love, the skilled stylists at your local Great Clips salon are ready to bring it to life for less. With convenient online check-in, you can stop in whenever it works for you. And with the affordable prices at Great Clips, you'll save money for fall fun as well. So what are you waiting for? Download the app today and get a fresh haircut for fall at Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
Dude, did you hear Fry the Coop has Vienna beef on their chicken sandwiches now?
Wait, hot dogs on chicken? That's interesting.
No, not their famous hot dogs. They're pickles. Vienna Beef has been making pickles for over 100 years. Now their zesty pickles are stacked on Fry the Coop's epic fried chicken sandwiches.
Oh, sweet, spicy, crinkle cut? This is unreal.
Fry the Coop and Vienna Beef pickles, the perfect combo, the perfect sandwich, the perfect bite every single time.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Summer's almost over, but the heat is pressing on. If you've got battery trouble, stop by AutoZone for free battery testing. It may just need a charge, and we'll do that for free too. If you do need a battery, we've got options starting at just $89.99, and we'll recycle your old battery for free. Now that's a strong start. Don't miss the end of summer sale, now at AutoZone until September 22nd.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From kickoff to cash out, ESPN Bet has the tools you need to score more on game days. Bet smarter with stats at your fingertips. Get personalized parlays built just for you. And with your fantasy team synced right in the app, you can back your squad. Right now, new customers get $100 in bonus bets when you bet $10. Sign up with promo code USL to get started. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Illinois born, nation strong. That's Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, sharing the same communities with their members for nearly 90 years. And while they'll always be your one local and trusted healthcare partner, their national network of products and innovations continues to ensure access to the highest quality, affordable care. Because wherever your journey leads, Blue Cross will make sure you always feel right at home. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all.
True North convenience stores and Red Bull are an elite matchup. True North offers the legend Red Bull Original and rookie Red Bull Zero. Get 3 8-ounce flavors for $6.50 and save 10 cents off a gallon with the True Rewards mobile app. Available in your favorite app store.
I'm Chicago personal injury lawyer Jim Morisi. Even when we're careful, other people's negligence can threaten our futures. As one of Illinois' most successful injury firms, winning the most complex personal injury and workers' compensation cases is what we do. Consultations are always free. Visit us at MorisiLongo.com. That's MoriciLongo. Morisi Longo and Associates. We're there when you need us.
Welcome in to Bears Weekly, powered by IGS Energy, a Chicago Bears network production. Bears Weekly is brought to you by Advocate Healthcare, Athletico Physical Therapy, CDW, Connie's Pizza, IGS Energy, and Miller Lite. Here are your hosts, Jeff Joniak, a.k.a. the Mayor of Bearsville, and his sidekick, Tom the Surfmaster Thayer.
This NFC North obstacle course continues for the Bears as they prepare for a battle against the Detroit Lions at Ford Field Sunday at noon. Hi, everybody. It's Bears Weekly on ESPN 1000 on the Bears Radio Network with Super Bowl winning Bears guard Tom Thayer. I'm Jeff Joniak. We break down the matchup on a day we also remember those who lost their lives in 9/11. If you've had your television or radio on today, it takes you back, indeed. Dan Barilli, Jordan Treadup, Katie Fox, our producers, along with Kendra Smith in studio, the executive producer of the Bears Radio Network, Eric Ostrowski. Tommy, good to talk to you. You and I were getting ready for the season opener in 2001, our first year together as the play-by-play crew along with Hub Arkish, and I'll never forget it because I was headed to Halisall. I called you, and you told me to turn around and go home. And went back home, couldn't believe what was going on, and then we went to Baltimore that first week, lost to the eventual Super Bowl champion Ravens, and then the Bears went on a 6-game winning streak and set the table for a division title and playoff appearance.
Yeah, I was already up at Jay Hilgenberg's house in Lake Forest, and he saw a plane hit one of the towers, and he looked at me and says, "We're being attacked." And I didn't know how to comprehend that. I didn't know if it was real reality. And then all the other unfortunate incidences that happened around the United States that day, it gave you such a dose of reality into my adulthood, and it's something I've never really experienced before. And so it's going to be an instant in time that you're never going to forget as long as you're alive. And to all the people who lost their lives that day and the first responders, just everybody, because now after all this time, you see still shots of that moment in time, and it's just a horrific experience that it filtered around the world.
Yep, glad you mentioned the first responders as well, because the sacrifice undeniable. So thank you for all first responders out there, for all situations, whether it be here or abroad. All right, let's switch gears and talk Bears football. The Detroit Lions will play host. It's a hornet's nest over there, Tommy, and I think we'd agree it'll be a hornet's nest on Sunday after that opening week loss at Green Bay and what's ahead for them. Lots to discuss. We're going to have a lot of different viewpoints today, but what's yours right out of the gate?
You know, we've seen a transition in a building unlike any other places that we've been around throughout our careers in the NFL. And what Dan Campbell has done to Ford Field, it's one of the most hostile environments that you can go in and play. And nobody knows that any better than Ben Johnson. That's part of his football upbringing. And so now he's the head coach of the Chicago Bears. You have to go back and you have to watch that tape from the Minnesota Vikings game, and you immediately have to look at how to make corrections that will affect and factor in the Detroit Lions game. And he knows that team well. He knows the talent, and I think it gives him a great basis to formulate a game plan that's going to go into week 2 in the NFL season.
All right, from the Bears Etc. podcast that dropped on Tuesday of this week, the interview with Ben Johnson focused on a couple of things I want to bring up here. We'll play chunks of it. The first one is on finishing games, which the Bears and many other teams in the league have to figure out a way to make that happen. We could talk about finishing runs, finishing tackles, finishing drives, but finishing games, awful important. There may be a simple answer to this, and it may be self-explanatory, but I know we've talked a lot about a team learning how to win, certainly in the fourth quarter, how to put teams away or come from behind. But from your experience, what does it take to win the fourth quarter?
Yeah, it takes, I would say this, when everything's starting to go sideways like it felt like it was doing there in the fourth quarter, all it takes is every man to start concentrating a little bit more on his job. Just focus on your job. I think a lot of times some guys will panic or they'll try to do too much, but the right response is just focus on your technique, your fundamentals, your alignment, your assignment, and just do your job a little bit better than what you've been doing. And usually you can tighten it up and get back on track. And so, listen, this is a good learning experience for us, as painful as it's been. But you're right, we have to learn how to finish opponents when we have them right on the ropes.
Okay, yeah, finishing, that's going to be something that's going to preach week in and week out, depending upon what type of play you have called, pass, run, offense, defense. He also brought up the word focus. And I think that when you're trying to teach 4 quarters of focus to a football team, that's part of finishing as well. So Ben knows the big picture of success and the transition from the experience of creating success. And I like the message that he brought to you on Tuesday, and I like the message that he's bringing into the weekend.
How about the discussion of the run game? Certainly he's talked about, wanting the need to run it more, get Kyle Monangai involved. We don't know where Roschon is going to be just yet. Of course, DeAndre Swift, the main ball carrier, but just the wide zone and how long it takes. This also from the Bears Etc. podcast.
When you talk about the wide zone scheme, it usually takes guys, 4, 6, 8 games to truly get a good feel for how you want to press your landmark, when you want to stay on track, when you want to bounce it, and when you want to cut it up. And so, we weren't always consistent with that, but I was pretty pleased with how hard Swifty ran. He didn't shy away from contact. He lowered his shoulder. You felt the physical nature of his play. But want to get Kyle more carries as we get going into this season. And then I did think DJ, when the ball was in his hands, was a good little change up for us as well, because he does have a little bit of gas when he sees a little crease, he steps on it.
Yeah, I love the deep set DJ. He came blasting out of there, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did.
Yeah.
Sure did.
And so that's something to keep an eye on. Interesting, you said that amount of time, 6 to 8 games, right?
It could. It depends.
But it just underscores, this is something that it's just going to take some time.
Yeah, I go back and, the version of wide zone that we run, I learned from a guy named Chris Furster in Miami. It was 2016, and it took us a while, that 2016 season, to get going. And, I want to say we ended up going on a stretch of winning 9 out of 10, going to the wild card, making the playoffs, and that was really good. But a guy named Jay Ajayi ended up having 3 200-yard games, rushing games that season, and really carried the load there for us on offense, and we were very wide zone predicated, and so that's been my experience with it. And so sometimes it takes a little bit longer than you'd like, but once it starts clicking, it's usually pretty effective.
One thing about running game, the development of a running game. There's so many integral bodies of importance to have a successful running game, whether it's outside zone or it's an inside running play. First of all, the ball carrier, he's instrumental, obviously, but his vision and his trust in the running game, making sure that you trust the point of attack, that even though it's not open when you get the handoff, that in an eighth of a second later, it can be open. And you're trying to determine the design of a football play to get second and third level defenders in position to be blocked. And those types of faith are developed over time, carries, repetitions, and that will, take through the whole season and years to create that. And then you have a different understanding at home and on the road. At home, you're going to hear the snap count and everybody's going to get off the line of scrimmage at the same time. On the road, you're going to have to develop the rhythm of the snap count so everybody is getting off the ball in an efficient time frame. And so all those types of things factor in the running game. Hey, man, every offensive coordinator throughout the history of time, with the exception of maybe a Mouse Davis or Lavelle Edwards, they want to run the ball more. And so I think Ben's no different than anybody else.
All right, coming up in the show, we got a lot to discuss, all the coordinators, and we're also going to hear from the voice of the Detroit Lions, Dan Miller, with a perspective about what's going on up there in Detroit. Coming up next, we visit with Dayo Adengbo on ESPN 1000 of the Bears Radio Network.
You're tuned into Bears Weekly with Jeff Joniak on the Bears Radio Network.
Traveling to an away game to watch the Bears win big? Get ready to celebrate. Celebrated a little too much? Time to sleep in. Slept in and gonna miss that flight home? Time to change your flight without paying change fees thanks to United. So, when will you worry about getting back? Tomorrow? Maybe? United, proud to fly the Chicago Bears. Does not include basic economy unless a United waiver applies. Exceptions apply for certain international flights.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Make Hollywood Casino Aurora and Joliet your new game day headquarters this football season. We've got the biggest screens, ice-cold pints, and the area's best game day food. Plus, when you join Penn Play, the official loyalty program of Hollywood Casino, you can earn rewards that will cover your next round of wings on us. Getting the most out of this football season? Well played. In partnership with Hollywood Casino Aurora. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Counseling resources available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
When you rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, you can also level up your experience with big savings. Fuel Rewards members with Platinum status earn 10 cents a gallon on savings every day with just 6 fills of Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Fuel up at Shell today with continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors. Platinum status is earned with 12 fill-ups over 3 months, 10-gallon minimum per fill-up. At participating Shell locations. Terms apply. Visit www.fuelrewards.com/status.
Connie's Pizza has been Chicago's go-to pizza for over 60 years, with pizza options including classic Chicago deep dish, stuffed, thin crust, and our original Connie's Pan Pizza. Located at 2373 South Archer Avenue, you can stop by to dine in before the game and then hop on Connie's free shuttle to Soldier Field. Call 312-CONNIES or visit ConniesPizza.com to place an order. Connie's Pizza is your go-to pizza for Chicago pizza. Call 312-CONNIES and order today.
Want to make a world of difference without leaving your street? The answer is right above your head. We're IGS Energy. We offer solar solutions that make a world of difference. That's why you see solar systems popping up around your community. It's easy to switch. Now you can choose your energy source, manage your impact, and protect the systems that keep your home comfortable. Choose IGS Energy, and let's go green for good. Visit IGS.com to learn more.
A 1-hour, uninterrupted dose of Black and Abdallah.
Weekdays 2 to 3 on ESPN Chicago.
Welcome back to Bears Weekly on the Bears Radio Network. Here's your host, the voice of the Bears, Jeff Joniak.
This segment of Bears Weekly is brought to you by IGS Energy with Tom Thayer, Jeff Joniak. As it occurred to me, Tommy, it's year 5 for number 55, who's 25 in 2025. That's Dio Adengbo. So I wondered if there was any significance in number 55 for Dio, our featured interview this week here on ESPN 1000 and Bears Weekly.
Felt right. I kind of wanted to
You're
change
tuned
my
into
number
Bears
already,
Weekly.
so it felt right, and I think it's pretty fitting.
And I looked it up. The number 55 or the number 5, the repeating numbers in Nigerian culture, it's the number equals transformation and personal growth. And there's a spiritual component to it too.
Yes, sir.
I know you're a deep thinker about your history and your heritage and your family. Are you surprised? I mean, maybe this is transformational coming here to Chicago and the personal growth.
Absolutely. No, it feels very fitting. That's something that I didn't know, so that's new to me, and I'll probably do more research on that. But it feels fitting.
This is a big point in your career, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. Every opportunity is a blessing, and to have this opportunity to take this next step at this point in my career and at this age, it's a lot ahead of me. So I'm just taking it day by day, working to get better every day and show all that work, when the opportunity comes.
It's like there's always something on the horizon that they dangle. The analysts of football, and maybe even in the scouting departments, do you feel that pressure sometimes of, okay, I got to meet and surpass expectations of them, but also for my own self?
Absolutely. I mean, for me, I feel like most of the pressure comes from within and my own expectations of myself. I think it's a good, pressure is a blessing. It's a good thing. So, but at the same time, you can't let it overtake you and get to you too much. So,
has it ever?
I mean, I do believe, throughout my entire career, not even just, the NFL, but even college and high school, like, pressure can get to you and, affect different areas of your life, not even just football. So, that's always an adversity you kind of have to face and something you have to deal with. And I think that's something, every single player, really person has had to deal with in their own life. But, pressure makes diamonds at the end of the day, and pressure has pushed me to get to this spot in my life, and it's going to continue to push me to get to the next.
I feel in the performance business, whatever it be, stage, silver screen, football, athletics, radio announcer, and I've heard this said many times, pressure is a privilege.
Absolutely.
Because you're in this position for your raw talent and your ability, and you're making good on it, but it's also a privilege. Not everybody can do it or is big enough and fast enough and long enough to do it in your case, or they just don't have the work ethic. So do you embrace that angle of it as well? It is a privilege.
No, absolutely. And at every level, it's like you said, there's always something in front of you. It was the pressure to get to college, and then the pressure to start in college, the pressure to dominate and get to the next level and get drafted. Then there's the pressure to perform at that level. So there's always going to be something of pushing forward to that next journey.
I read this in the Indianapolis Star when you were there in 2022. It was a quote from you. I was feeling out the game, checking the temperature instead of setting the temperature. I love that line. Is that a Dio creation, or was that a coach ringing in your head? Because I love that quote.
Yeah, no, my college coach used to say that a lot, whether you want to be a thermometer or a thermostat, a thermostat changes the temperature and the thermometer checks the temperature. So that's kind of something that stuck with me and that I try to apply, every day. And that's on the field and off the field, like whether it's, being a leader and setting the temperature in that way and, this is the way, something should be done, or whether it's on the field and setting the tone with your physicality or whatever
it's like boiling water. Charles Tillman, the famous Peanut Punch man, he read this book. Now I can't remember the title, but 1 degree this way and water's boiling. 1 degree under, it's still hot water.
Yes, sir.
So all that, which leads me to cooking. You love to cook.
Yes, sir.
Tell me the depth of your cooking expertise. What do you like to do in the kitchen? What's your jam?
I mean, I feel like I really try to keep it flowing. Like I change a lot when I'm cooking, like whether it's American food, Italian food, Nigerian food. I could cook steaks, smokes, barbecue, whatever. So
have you cooked for your teammates?
Not here. I haven't cooked for any of my teammates here, so that's something I'm going to have to do.
Yeah, take a Thursday night, bring the line in, make some Nigerian food. Yeah. What would I be eating if I was eating Nigerian food? What would you recommend? What's your go-to?
Probably, the first thing you want to try is like Nigerian jollof rice. So that's a standard across really all of Africa, but each country makes it a different way. So that's an important staple to try.
I can't leave this interview without you talking about your family, because I read about your mom Betty, your father Gary, your brother Dari, obviously, but the impact of your mom on you. I'm sure she had visions of you being a doctor or something, right? Yeah. But football was the path to your success and your family's interest in it. What's the impact?
It's really just seeing the way my parents have worked my whole life and seeing everything that they've sacrificed to give me an opportunity to just be in this country. Moving across the world, leaving everything they've known to give myself and my brother better opportunities. It's inspiring and it's motivating like every day. So that's really why I do it, and to make that investment and their sacrifice worth it. So. That's important to me, and that's something I think about every day.
All right, and your dog Cola, a German Shepherd Collie mix. I saw a picture. Beautiful dog.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
This is an important figure in your life, also, right?
Yeah, no, he's definitely very important in my life, and I got him as a rookie in the NFL, so he's been with
shoulder to shoulder with you.
Yeah. So. I don't know if you have a dog or anyone who does, but coming home after a long day and your dog's there and they're always happy to see you, that's always a good way to decompress, and always something, that brings you back to the middle and kind of allows you to step away from, football and all the other pressures and just be able to enjoy life for a little second. So that's always something that's, good to go home to.
Yeah, and then for Maya, I'm looking forward to a little Hurricane Dio.
Yes, sir.
It's hurricane season, baby.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
So, again, these interviews, we get a glimpse of more than just football. And Dio, a very smart guy. Talked to Jeremy Garrett. We're going to talk to him on our podcast this week as well about Dio, because he had him in college when he was just raw. And he's just 25 years of age. He's just scratching the surface, honestly, in his career, and he's already put in a lot.
Yeah, it's always interesting when you bring up something like the 55 and the 5 and how it fits into his heritage and stuff. And he goes, well, I got to go back and I got to do a little bit more research on that. What I like about that is because you do so much thinking and talking and viewing of football. Now you get outside the building, whether he's talking about their dog companionship, and nobody knows that better than me because I got Rudy and Sweet Lou waiting for me every day. But then you kind of research outside the boundaries of football and how it factors in your life right now. And Dio is a guy that is just scratching the surface, as you said, in his career, because he's got versatility. And I think the more that he's able to expose his versatility, the more he's going to learn about his abilities. And, you got to listen to the podcast because I like what you talked to Jeremy about in length. And in the times of length of a defender, there's nobody that used their length better than Dan Hampton. Dan Hampton is a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer at nose guard, at defensive tackle, and defensive end. And one of his greatest assets is the way he used his length. When you're, as an offensive lineman, you get in your stance, the short, stout strength of Steve McMichael and his stance is different than the length, power, and grip strength of Dan Hampton. And I think Dio, when you look at his versatility, athleticism, intelligence, and ability, I think that his potential for Dennis Allen in this defensive line is going to grow tremendously because you can be used in a variety of different positions and match up with different talent skills. I think it's really going to benefit the Bears' defensive line.
He's going to be matched up opposite 32-year-old Taylor Decker, and if he kicks inside, an interior offensive line that had a rough outing against the Green Bay Packers last week, Tommy. Coming up, defensive coordinator Dennis Allen and Bears quarterback Caleb Williams next on ESPN 1000 and the Bears Radio Network.
You're listening to Bears Weekly on the Bears Radio Network.
Want to make a world of difference without leaving your street? The answer is right above your head. We're IGS Energy. We offer solar solutions that make a world of difference. That's why you see solar systems popping up around your community. It's easy to switch. Now you can choose your energy source, manage your impact, and protect the systems that keep your home comfortable. Choose IGS Energy, and let's go green for good. Visit IGS.com to learn more.
Traveling to an away game to watch the Bears win big? Get ready to celebrate. Celebrated a little too much? Time to sleep in. Slept in and gonna miss that flight home? Time to change your flight without paying change fees thanks to United. So, when will you worry about getting back? Tomorrow? Maybe? United, proud to fly the Chicago Bears. Does not include basic economy unless a United waiver applies. Exceptions apply for certain international flights.
From last-second game-winning field goals to 98-yard kickoff returns, football is exciting. But as the official bank of the Chicago Bears, PNC prefers to be steady and boring, like a solid ground game that eats up the clock. A strategy that scored a lot of financial wins over the last 160 years. And while our customers may not wear our name on the back of jerseys, Bears fans can get 20% off regularly priced merchandise with the Chicago Bears PNC Bank debit card. A pretty exciting option play if you ask us. Find out more at pnc.com/bearscard. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
When you rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, you can also level up your experience with big savings. Fuel Rewards members with Platinum status earn 10 cents a gallon on savings every day with just 6 fills of Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Fuel up at Shell today with continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors. Platinum status is earned with 12 fill-ups over 3 months, 10-gallon minimum per fill-up. At participating Shell locations. Terms apply. Visit www.fuelrewards.com/status.
Are aches, pains, or injuries keeping you on the sidelines? At Athletico, our movement experts are here to help you turn your setbacks into comebacks and create a personalized game plan for your recovery. With no prescription or referral needed, Athletico Physical Therapy is where your comeback story begins. Get started today by scheduling a free assessment at athletico.com. Official physical therapy partner of the Chicago Bears.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
This is Bears Weekly with the voice of the Bears for 24 years, Jeff Joniak. On the Bears Radio Network.
This segment of Bears Weekly brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy. Visit athletico.com to request an in-clinic or virtual appointment and start feeling better tomorrow. Jeff and Tom breaking down Bears and Lions. Let's talk Caleb Williams, Tom. You know, figuring out that same topic on how to finish. And then working that silent count in Detroit. Let's listen in to Caleb Williams from This Week at Hallis Hall.
It's being able to come together as a team, and especially as an offense, and realize that nobody has to do more than, what we're asked to do. And that's myself included. That's everybody, on the team, but also on the offense especially. It's just being able to go out there and do your 111th. And we'd all do that at one point on one play, and then we move on to the next play and we do it again. Typically good things, come out pretty good on the other side of that. So that's the message. If those moments come up or anything like that, it's just everybody do their job. Everybody go out there and, let's do it at the same time when the ball is snapped. And let's see what happens.
How loud Ford Field is, and Ben knows because it's homecoming, it's probably going to be really extra loud. How comfortable are you with the silent cadence, and how much do you think you're going to have to use it?
Yeah, you definitely got to use it on a away game, especially any in-division game that we're going against right here coming up this week. And being able to use that effectively is going to be good for us. I've had practice with it since last year, and then now through training camp and this week we're going to be using it. So it's something you need to use in those loud environments. I think we'll use it effectively.
Caleb, with Aiden Hutchinson, I know you didn't play him last year, but you've seen plenty of tape on him. Yeah. As a quarterback, what do you have to kind of be aware of with what he's capable of?
Yeah, obviously he's a great player, and coming off injury, and he's still super explosive. Obviously, you've seen the clips of him and the game that they just played. So He's still the same player, still very explosive, still a high motor guy. And I believe at one point he was the sack leader before he got injured last year, right? Yep. And so just being aware of him, knowing where he is, and being able to help the lineman, getting the ball out early, and slowing him down in those ways. And then just being able to, take care of him, in our game plan.
I'm glad somebody asked him about, Aiden Hutchinson, because that's a big topic as well, where he's at and where he's got to know where he is at all times. But Caleb and his approach after week one, going into a place where he had some success, nearly 600 yards throwing the football against the Lions in the 2 games last season and 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, the rhythm of the silent count, if we're going to address that first, a lot of times that comes with the rhythm of the center, not necessarily the rhythm of the quarterback. You break the huddle, you have a certain amount of time on the clock. You go back and you look at that time clock, every member of the offensive line, the quarterback. As he goes through what his visuals that he has to go through after he breaks the huddle and looking at the defense, then one of the guards, Tooney or Jonah, are going to be the igniters. They're going to ignite that Caleb is ready to the center. And you got to be inconsistent about your ignition switch. And even though you get the ignition, it doesn't mean you're going to look and snap the ball immediately, because then the defensive line falls into that rhythm. There's a couple different patterns that you have to fall into. And because Dahlman is so experienced at the center position, I think that you should take his input and what he likes to do as much as the quarterback. And so it's not going to be a problem solved one game. And that's the thing about it. Crowd noise is always a problem. If you play in the league 15 years, it's always an issue. But I do believe, getting the play, Ben getting the play in, getting the play called, go into the line of scrimmage and have a little bit of evaluation time could really help Caleb in the process and also help the offensive line.
A Ben Johnson offense is yard after the catch if it's working great, building off the run game, but also studying the check down and using screens. How can that help better than impact downfield options?
Well, first of all, I think that you have to take the film of this past week's game and go through every check down and go, okay, take that check down, but stop that quarterback at his final drop step. And then you look at the architect of the play, 1, 2, 3. Is something there that I should have taken advantage of, or is the check down the right way to go? And I do think in the process of developing the quarterback position, your relationships that you have with all receivers, tight end, backs, and wide receivers, I think you get a better understanding how to get the ball out of your hands more efficiently. I was encouraged by some of the check downs that Caleb took in the game, because what in the past may have resulted in a sack now results in positive yards. However, looking at some of the checkdowns, I think there were some downfield opportunities that Caleb will take advantage of in the future.
Well, let's switch to the defense and Dennis Allen, who really wanted to focus on Detroit, not really go back and check out what happened against Minnesota. But big picture, he knows Detroit wants to run the football.
Yeah, I see a lot of similarities in the run game to what they've done in the past. I think obviously that's the unique thing about when you get into a game and you're really only in the second week of the season. There's still not a lot to go off of in terms of exactly how, Johnny Morton's going to call the game. So I think we'll have to be ready to make some adjustments and see what they're trying to do. But I didn't really notice a whole lot different in terms of how they were trying to attack.
He recognizes what we all know. They have a bully ball mentality, and that opens up the passing game. In order to stop the run and eliminate the yak after the check down and the shot plays, what else is on his plate as a defensive coordinator this week?
Okay, so you got Montgomery, you have Gibbs. You have Gibbs who can fly. He's one of the fastest running backs in the league. And if he runs a steady diet of outside zone plays, then cornerback safety's got to be willing to create that contain. They got to be willing tacklers. They got to lead the charge against Gibbs before he gets in that exterior open field. Because if he's on the outside and you become a chaser, you're not going to catch him. And then when you look at the inside running game, that's more where David Montgomery makes his money. It's about the defensive line in that solid rotation of having fresh defensive linemen in there all the time, being able to protect the linebackers and make sure that they can get into that tackling position where they initiate contact and it's not delivered by Montgomery. If Montgomery delivers the contact, he's going to get an extra 2 yards after contact, a lot like what Walter Payton did throughout his career. And so it's going to be about this continuous rotation of the defensive linemen. They played maybe 8 to 10 guys in the game against the Minnesota Vikings. I really like that rotation, and everybody has a little bit something to offer. And then you look at the versatilities at Dio. You look at the pass rush ability of a Hardy. You think of what Dominique Robinson can do as a pure athlete, and then all the other guys, how they filter into that game plan. Keep a variety of defensive linemen going, and I think it can really help the rest of the defense.
All right, coming up next, the voice of the Lions, Dan Miller, joins us here on ESPN 1000 of the Bears Radio Network.
You're tuned into Bears Weekly with Jeff Joniak on the Bears Radio Network.
This is ESPN Chicago, WNVP, WTBC, HD2 Chicago, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Miller Lite, the legendary light beer. The originator, the inventor. If this beer could talk, it'd tell stories about that one time, that night, that one guy, that one gal. Writing a story 50 years long and 50 million friends wide. Because legendary stories start with a light. Here's to 50 years of Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
From last-second game-winning field goals to 98-yard kickoff returns, football is exciting. But as the official bank of the Chicago Bears, PNC prefers to be steady and boring, like a solid ground game that eats up the clock. A strategy that scored a lot of financial wins over the last 160 years. And while our customers may not wear our name on the back of jerseys, Bears fans can get 20% off regularly priced merchandise with the Chicago Bears PNC Bank debit card. A pretty exciting option play if you ask us. Find out more at pnc.com/bearscard. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Traveling to an away game to watch the Bears win big? Get ready to celebrate. Celebrated a little too much? Time to sleep in. Slept in and gonna miss that flight home? Time to change your flight without paying change fees thanks to United. So, when will you worry about getting back? Tomorrow? Maybe? United, proud to fly the Chicago Bears. Does not include basic economy unless a United waiver applies. Exceptions apply for certain international flights.
Make Hollywood Casino Aurora and Joliet your new game day headquarters this football season. We've got the biggest screens, ice-cold pints, and the area's best game day food. Plus, when you join Penn Play, the official loyalty program of Hollywood Casino, you can earn rewards that will cover your next round of wins on us. Getting the most out of this football season? Well played. In partnership with Hollywood Casino Aurora. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Counseling resources available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For luxury and innovation that only Mercedes-Benz can deliver, visit the Chicagoland Mercedes-Benz dealers for their incredible selection and service. Discover the performance of Mercedes-Benz, offering gas, hybrid, and electric models. Plus, explore the special offers on our most popular Mercedes-Benz models. Shop your Chicagoland Mercedes-Benz dealers now and view the entire vehicle lineup with convenient locations throughout Chicago and the suburbs. The Chicagoland Mercedes-Benz dealers, proud partner of the Chicago Bears.
Want to make a world of difference without leaving your street? The answer is right above your head. We're IGS Energy. We offer solar solutions that make a world of difference. That's why you see solar systems popping up around your community. It's easy to switch. Now you can choose your energy source, manage your impact, and protect the systems that keep your home comfortable. Choose IGS Energy, and let's go green for good. Visit IGS.com to learn more.
Bears and Lions, Sunday at noon on ESPN Chicago, the home of the Bears. Welcome back to Bears Weekly on the Bears Radio Network. Here's your host, the voice of the Bears, Jeff Joniak.
This segment of Bears Weekly is brought to you by IGS Energy. Had a chance to visit, late notice, albeit, with the voice of the Detroit Lions, Dan Miller, a team there in Detroit who is hearing a lot already after 1 week of the football season. Here's Dan.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. I mean, look, 0-2 in this league is digging yourself a hole to start the season. when you look at this NFC North, which you expect to be competitive, and you can't count on the other teams losing a lot of games. And like you said, we're going to Baltimore after this. So the thought of being 0-2 heading into a Monday night game in Baltimore against the Ravens is not what anybody would sign up for. So, yeah, I mean, both teams, didn't get it done in week 1. So week 2 becomes even more important.
I was squirming a little bit. I saw a Twitter clip of one of the reporters in Detroit asking Dan Campbell about why they just didn't do a carbon copy of what Ben Johnson did with the offense. And he kept it together, but it really made me squirm. I'm sure that was something anticipated, right, after one game if things didn't look exactly the way fans have become used to over the last 3 years. What was your take on how Dan handled that at the podium?
Well, I mean, look, I've never seen him in his time here. He doesn't get upset at questions. That one was kind of like him just looking at him and saying, really?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That one, he is unflappable up there. And it really, I mean, not to get too deep into it, but he's just a good dude. And he doesn't, even if you hit him with one that's stupid, he's going to just kind of give you an answer and move on to the next question. He doesn't try to belittle people. He doesn't try to fire back at people. He just really goes up there, does his thing. You're not going to see him sweat. And then he moves on to the next question. But look, there were questions with this team coming into this season that we weren't going to be able to answer and won't be able to answer until we see them play games. And that was interior offensive line, and that was new coordinators, and that was consistent pass rush. And look, through 1 week, it wasn't great. So people start asking questions, and I think he was ready for a lot of that. But look, they are doing a lot of the same things that they did when Ben Johnson was here. John Morton was here when Ben designed this offense. John Morton was here when they installed this offense. So you're going to see a lot of the same things. What you're not seeing is Frank Ragnow in the middle of that offensive line and Kevin Zeitler at a guard spot. And things have changed, and it's going to take a beat. Now, you don't have much time to get it together, but I think one game tape provides a lot for a team to be able to look at and say, guys, here's where we need to be better. Here's where we have to be better if we ultimately want to get this thing going.
Yeah, it's like a hammer hitting your thumb week 1, for any fan, right? I mean, week 1.
Well, there's so much emotion that goes into it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. You're through the whole off season and all the changes you made and all the hope that you brought. And, for you guys, it's a new head coach. It's this head coach is going to get this quarterback going in the right direction. It's the free agents that you brought in. For the Lions, it's, let's finish what they started here and have a great season and get to a Super Bowl. And then you play one game and it's just like thud. And there's overreactions to it. But I think that's every team in the league because it's built up so much and you wait for it and anticipate it. And then when it doesn't go your way, it can feel like there's more to it than there is. There's no finality to a first game, but it can feel that way sometimes. You can change an awful lot from week 1 to week 2, but it's a hard one to overcome for some time after that first game. But then you realize you better be ready because you got to line up and go again.
Dan Miller, our guest, the voice of the Detroit Lions for many years on ESPN 1000 of the Bears Radio Network, kind enough to join us. All right, so at a minimum, I would suspect both teams want to get their running games going. And no better place to start if you're an opposing team going into that building than to take the starch out of a crowd by running the football. And with your two great running backs getting that thing going, I would imagine is a big first step to week 2.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, the Lions did a pretty good job against the run. They had Jacobs bottled up pretty good. Now, he got warmed down a little bit in the fourth quarter. They got going. He had a 15-yard run that kind of boosted his stats. But I think generally they were pretty happy with the job they did against the running game. And the Lions were really good against the run last year and have been really good against the run the past couple of years. So they need to continue that. You can't give Chicago balance because that's just going to make them more dangerous. And offensively, 100%. Look, the Lions are built around their ability to run the ball. And they want to hand it to Gibbs and hand it to David Montgomery and then have it open things up for Amon-Ra and Jamo and Laporta and Isaac Tesla is going to play a role. So 100%. Look, we've been doing this a long time, and every coach you talk to says defensively, what do we got to do this week? We got to stop the run.
Yeah.
And then offensively, you want to have balance, and if you can run the ball, you exert your will on the other team, and then you get them back on their heels a little bit, and you can hit them with the passing game that the Lions know they can do. So it's paramount to what they want to do the rest of the way. It's not going to be there every week, but it has to be a staple of what they do.
Last question before we let you go. Appreciate the short notice and the time. Aiden Hutchinson, how's he look to you, and where is his mindset at right now as he gets ready for the first home game of his NFL 2025 season?
Yeah, he looked unbelievable in camp. I mean, just you would not have known that he was coming off a major injury, and he looked fantastic. Obviously, it wasn't there in week one. I would submit this. Aiden will be fine, but he does need to get some help on that defensive line, and that's one of the questions from this team is how do you generate pass rush outside of Aiden? You don't have Aleem McNeil until probably October, November. So who on the interior is going to provide a pass rush, and who on the other side can provide a pass rush, whether it's Davenport or Al-Quddin Muhammad or whoever it is. They need some other guys to step up, and Green Bay did a great job when the Lions tried to bring pressure or bring a blitz. They picked it up. So I think Aiden will be fine. Wasn't the kind of game we're used to seeing from him, but I think he is who he is. He's going to get back to being the guy that can wreck a game and change a game, but I would also keep an eye on other guys on that line that have got to step up and help them out and make the other teams know that there's more up there than just 97.
Dan Miller, voice of the Detroit Lions. Let's share a cup of Joe when we get in the booth on Sunday. How about it?
Look forward to it, my brother. Always good to see you. We'll look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday.
All right, our final segment ahead. We'll hear from Richard Hightower coming up along with Declan Doyle. This is Bears Weekly on ESPN 1000 of the Bears Radio Network.
You're listening to Bears Weekly on the Bears Radio Network.
Traveling to an away game to watch the Bears win big? Get ready to celebrate. Celebrated a little too much? Time to sleep in. Slept in and gonna miss that flight home? Time to change your flight without paying change fees thanks to United. So, when will you worry about getting back? Tomorrow? Maybe? United, proud to fly the Chicago Bears. Does not include basic economy unless a United waiver applies. Exceptions apply for certain international flights.
When you rejuvenate your engine's performance with Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline, you can also level up your experience with big savings. Fuel Rewards members with Platinum status earn 10 cents a gallon on savings every day with just 6 fills of Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. Fuel up at Shell today with continuous use in gasoline direct injection engine fuel injectors. Platinum status is earned with 12 fill-ups over 3 months, 10-gallon minimum per fill-up. At participating Shell locations. Terms apply. Visit www.fuelrewards.com/status.
Make Hollywood Casino Aurora and Joliet your new game day headquarters this football season. We've got the biggest screens, ice-cold pints, and the area's best game day food. Plus, when you join Penn Play, the official loyalty program of Hollywood Casino, you can earn rewards that will cover your next round of wings on us. Getting the most out of this football season? Well played. In partnership with Hollywood Casino Aurora. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Counseling resources available. Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Want to make a world of difference without leaving your street? The answer is right above your head. We're IGS Energy. We offer solar solutions that make a world of difference. That's why you see solar systems popping up around your community. It's easy to switch. Now you can choose your energy source, manage your impact, and protect the systems that keep your home comfortable. Choose IGS Energy, and let's go green for good. Visit IGS.com to learn more.
Are aches, pains, or injuries keeping you on the sidelines? At Athletico, our movement experts are here to help you turn your setbacks into comebacks and create a personalized game plan for your recovery. With no prescription or referral needed, Athletico Physical Therapy is where your comeback story begins. Get started today by scheduling a free assessment at athletico.com. Official physical therapy partner of the Chicago Bears.
Connie's Pizza has been Chicago's go-to pizza for over 60 years, with pizza options including classic Chicago deep dish, stuffed, thin crust, and our original Connie's Pan Pizza. Located at 2373 South Archer Avenue, you can stop by to dine in before the game and then hop on Connie's free shuttle to Soldier Field. Call 312-CONNIES or Visit Connie'sPizza.com to place an order. Connie's Pizza is your go-to pizza for Chicago pizza. Call 312-CONNIES and order today.
Chicago's home for sports is on Twitch. See what we're up to. Follow ESPN 1000 Chicago today. Welcome back to Bears Weekly on the Bears Radio Network. Here's your host, the voice of the Bears, Jeff Joniak.
This segment of Bears Weekly is brought to you by Athletico Physical Therapy. Visit athletico.com to request an in-clinic or virtual appointment and start feeling better tomorrow. Our final view of what's going to happen, Bears and Lions. First, let's discuss Richard Hightower. Felt didn't go the way they wanted in the operation of the 50-yard field goal attempt. Much conversation about the end-of-game kickoff. A lot about what's coming here on Sunday against another really good special teams unit.
We got to be better there. And I got to coach it better, and we got to be better. It starts with the snap. The snap has to be on target, and then the protection's got to be good and solid. And then Torrey's got to give us a good punt, and we got to do a better job covering. We knew that kid was a really good player, but we playing a better returner this week. So that's what's exciting. We playing all pro this week. So it'll be good there. And then the other part of the message to the team was we left points on the board on field goal, and I didn't think that that was up to our liking, and we obviously didn't want the game to end that way. So that's what it was. It was a tale of two halves, and we're excited about the challenge going into a hostile environment, playing a really good special teams unit, really good. And we always have a heavyweight fight with them, all right? And that's what it's been. It's been their unit and our unit, two really good units going against each other in a battle every year, and it's always been, and it's been a chess match, and I'm looking forward to it. And that's what it's been.
Tommy's really high on Khalif Raymond, called him an all-pro. There were 6 returns of 20-plus in the punt return game last week in the NFL, 150-plus in Atlanta, I guess. But you're big on this, for the special teams unit to go up there, everything seemingly has to go really well in all 3 phases. So, therefore, limit the damage on special teams. No big plays allowed or given up, right?
Yeah. The thing about Torrey Taylor is he's got to come out of his shell. He's got to have a banger day, and that's every single punt, because you can't give up field position and have create a short field when they are on the punt return unit. And so Torrey's got to have a big day. Conditions obviously are going to be perfect. The snaps are coming in. Now you got to reinforce the blocking up front so he has confidence in his protection, and then get that ball in an explosive manner off his foot. And that's the unique thing about special teams. There's so much uncertainty because the way the roster rotates week in and week out due to injuries and new players coming aboard. But it's going to be a battle that you're going to have to pay attention to, because when you talk about a developing offense and a new defensive coordinator and Dennis Allen and Ben, and then the same thing on the other side, they need to be complemented by their special teams. And it can't be a concern. It's got to be a compliment.
Yeah, and Jack Fox, the Detroit punter, is a 2-time Pro Bowler. Very, very good punter. Very good punter.
Yeah, but listen, man, I want the explosiveness that we know Torrey is capable of. And if he can do that for the whole game, then it's going to create a longer field, and it's going to allow Dennis Allen to attack more initially.
All right. Finally, offensive coordinator Declan Doyle, who had a lot to say about the move plays that Caleb made in week 1 and what he's capable of doing, that balance between the move throws and decisions about sitting in there in the pocket.
We talk about that all the time with the second act. You want to be playing within the offensive system, and so you want to be playing through your reads. And then at a certain point in time, sometimes it's coverage dictated. They might be playing a variation of 2-man. They don't have somebody for the quarterback, and we're going to tell him in those situations, sometimes your legs are better than whatever we have called, and it's your responsibility to go hurt those guys. We had 4 explosives off of scrambles, and so it's something that certainly can provide a lot of value for our offense. It's something that you don't want to lean away from. You don't want to say, hey, be a robot and sit in there. However, we want to be playing within our scheme, the plays that are designed for certain coverages, and then quarterback, you're the eraser. You erase mistakes, and you go make it happen. And so that's something that, obviously we'll encourage him to do that, to extend plays and go make yards. Obviously, you see when he takes off, he's pretty fast and he can roll. So something that, we're excited about in our offense.
Dunze was saying the other day that the throw he made to him on the first drive along your sideline there when he was on the run is something that's rare.
Yeah.
What about Caleb throwing on the run is different than other quarterbacks?
And you guys can see it, like fans can see it. That's the thing that makes him, that's his superpower is when he's extending, he has incredible arm talent. There are things that happened the other night that you're like, man, there's a handful of guys in the league that can make those kinds of plays. And then there's a lot of plays that, you watch the tape and, he may come back and be like, hey, I want that one back. And so obviously there's a lot of talent there, but it's really just the expectation for all of us is that we improve every week. And this is a race right here. Like we're in training camp. It's totally blind. Like you have blinders on. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where teams really find out who they are. And that's where the huge jumps are made from week 1 to 2 to 3. And that's what we need to do right now. We have to have a sense of urgency about it and improve.
There are things that you want to see from Caleb, obviously, but you just can't take away when he has that instinctiveness to just go, as he made a lot of plays last week just with his legs.
Yeah. Declan, first of all, he says play in the system. And that's, I think, what you preach every single day to every quarterback in the National Football League, especially a young quarterback that's newly being introduced to a system. Play the system, and that's best going to fit your skill set and the skill set of your surrounding teammates. But when you do have to scramble, listen, man, you are creative, you are fast, you are explosive. You can, what did Declan say? He created 4 or 5 explosives just by his scrambling ability, and keep that up. And I still will not ignore the fact that everything is learned repetitiously. We're in the second week of the regular season. This is going to be a different monster than week 1 was because of everything you were going with in the first Monday night game. Now you're going on the road to a tough environment. But I think Caleb is an extremely confident young man, and the more that he's able to talk, see, and say the system, the better he's going to use it on game day.
All right, Tommy, that's going to wrap us up. Thanks to everybody for listening. The executive producer of the Bears Radio Network is Eric Ostrowski. Thanks to Kendra Smith in the ESPN studios, and our producers, Dan Burley, Jordan Tredup, and Katie Fox. For Tom Thayer, Dio Adengbo, and Dan Miller, I'm Jeff Joniak. This has been Bears Weekly on the new radio home of the Chicago Bears, ESPN Chicago. Have a good night, everybody. ESPN Radio's national coverage next with Amber and Ian. Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you for listening to the Chicago Bears Network presentation of Bears Weekly, hosted by the mayor of Bearsville, Jeff Joniak, and Surfmaster Tom Thayer. Podcasts are available on the Chicago Bears official app, brought to you by Verizon and Apple Podcasts. Bears Weekly has been brought to you by Miller Lite.
This is Joe Budden. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. So I'm here to make sure you don't miss any of the daily fantasy action this football season with Prize Picks, where it's good to be right.
Download the Prize Picks app today and use code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. That's code PLAYNOW to get $50 in site credits after you play your first $5. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Out here, days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals. Heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
Are you ready to get off the bench and into the game with a great new career? Then ETI School of Skilled Trades is just what you're looking for. As the Chicago area's premier welding and HVAC school, we've helped thousands of people just like you get started in great new careers. Step up to the plate and swing for the fences with a brighter future. Learn more at eticampus.edu or by calling 888-830-7678. ETI, it's your future. Own it.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
Guys, we turn to some funny places for support, but not everyone is a therapist. Not everyone is the one. Find your right match with BetterHelp. Hey guys, it's Silvy. As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Find the one with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/timeout. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/timeout.
Did you know that Fry the Coop is now using Vienna beef pickles on their epic chicken sandwiches?
Vienna beef sells pickles?
What, do you live under a rock? Yeah, Vienna beef is celebrating 100 years of selling pickles. Where have you been?
Right here.
Well, they are the bomb.com. Fry the Coop uses their zesty pickles, which are a sweet and spicy crinkle-cut pickle. When I tell you they are epic, they are epic. If you haven't tried Vienna beef pickles, do yourself a favor and head to Fry the Coop today.
Save big money on your next painting project right now at Menards. Give your room a grand finish with Pittsburgh Grand Distinction Interior Paint. It's a premium paint and primer with a tough, resilient finish that's scrubbable and stain resistant. Save big today on Pittsburgh Paint, in-store and on Menards.com. Plus, don't forget to check out our weekly flyer to find all of our other great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Carmen and Yurko, now 9 a.m. to noon, weekdays on the home of the Bears, ESPN Chicago.
Best. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Capital One. Every Sunday all season at 7 Eastern on ESPN.
Fridays, I help you get ready for the week.